Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are back, y'all. I want to thank you guys. I tell you, it's been hard, but I've been hanging in there because it's well worth it. I tell you, for somebody to be able to be blessed and to come out of the mess that they're in, because it's mess, because it is not of God, it is not love. I'm telling you, it would confuse you and think you that's what it is, but it's not. I've been there, so I know it's definitely not love. You got to learn how to love yourself first, and then if you love yourself, you won't go through these things. But all day long, I've been sharing tips. I've been sharing different stats, statistics, um, and it's not just a female thing. It's not a female thing. I found that out today. My
Yeah.
statistics showed me different. New York, males, males, yes, males are abused more than females. And then you have Michigan. Michigan is almost double. Women are at like 23%, and the
Wow.
men is like 49%.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Most
I had all kind of stats pulled up earlier. I tell you, it was mind-boggling. And then since this pandemic has happened, it said that domestic violence has rose 20%.
Yeah, they definitely have said that. Even the program that I work with, they said that it has risen since the pandemic because now they're stuck in the house with their abuser and they don't
Yeah.
have where they're gonna go. They used to their escape used to be, people going to work or people not being home. But now they're in the house. So it's more up because now it's they're there and it's like where are they to go.
I've been sharing this story all day because I found it on here when I was looking for the statistics. But it was a lady. Her name is Lily. She in China. Her husband beat her senseless with with the high chair. High
What?
chair. Where her 11-month-old baby come out of. She had her 11-month-old baby in her hand. And he
Mm.
beat her. This woman had it's a article that ran in the national domestic violence hotline on their website. And she called the police. Police came. They didn't arrest him. Not only that, when she went to file a divorce, they did not grant her divorce right away. She had to wait because of COVID.
Wow.
So she say she tried to leave, but she couldn't get anywhere to move to. So she was forced to stay with this man
And deal
until
with.
she could get a divorce and find somewhere to live.
Mm. That's
Ver-
that's that's crazy.
It's real. It's crazy.
But it's
It's
definitely
crazy.
real. It's definitely real.
So we have Virgo,
Yes, Veronica, but she's not on till
Veronica.
4:30. She's not on
Okay.
till 4:30.
Okay.
Jessica's supposed to be at 4.
So y'all, this is my sister. Y'all, she been holding me down. When I tell y'all, she been holding me down. She been holding me down. When first thing I went live this morning at 12:01, about 1 o'clock, y'all, I needed some coffee. This lady was up. Guess what she was doing, y'all? She was up eating her sunflower seeds.
Yes.
She was up eating her sunflower seeds.
Moment.
So you know that's got to be a Carolina thing. So my nephew do the same thing, honey. Up eating them sunflower seeds. So my sister jumped on and she let me go get me some coffee. I don't drink 3 pots of coffee.
That's that sisterhood. When you say you're doing something and we doing it for a cause, and I said I'm gonna be involved, that's what I'm here for. And I'm a big advocate for it too, because it's very dear and to my heart as well. Because I
Exactly.
went through it. So it's like I understand why we're doing it. I know what the cause is for, and I know what's behind it because I've seen it. I've seen it in person. And I've been through it, and I've seen people that's gone through it. So I'm here for it all.
That's it. That's it. But I tell you, I have truly been blessed. We've been blessed all over the world today, y'all. We know
Yeah.
Daphne came on from Germany. Her
Okay.
and One of the ladies that worked behind the scenes at her show, they came on. They blessed me for about 2-3 hours.
Okay.
So we've been spreading the love. I just want people to know that they don't have to suffer through what they're going through. That there's
Exactly.
a way out.
It
There's
is.
hope. All day I've been reading statistics. I've been sharing tips. I've been doing all I can do. But I want people to come on and share their stories so people can see firsthand.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah.
We understand. I'm a survivor. Shot point blank range with a shotgun, sawed off shotgun. May 6th, 2014, 6 years ago. And I'm here to tell you that there's life after abuse.
Yes.
There's life after abuse.
Yes.
Good life.
Yes.
Good life.
Yes,
Good
it
life.
is.
But I'm gonna let my sister. I appreciate you for jumping on here. I'm gonna let you take over the floor. I'm gonna let you share a little bit about who you are and all that wonderful work that you're doing. When I tell y'all, my sister got her hands in everything. My sister got her hands in a lot. She got her hands in a lot, but I tell you, she got her hands in some good grounds because she's a blessing. She don't mind sharing. This woman of God called me, and she was like, "I want you to be a part of this platform." She said, and for her to think of me, to think that I had something that could offer someone else. I thank you because a lot of people they wouldn't even thought about calling nobody. They'd be like, "Nah, I do this myself. I don't need nobody to tell me. I do this myself." But
See,
you are a true sister that care.
Yeah.
You care about your sisters and your brothers and the person beside you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this world needs. The word say, how can you love the Father if you don't love the Son? The only way to get to the Father is through the Son.
Yeah.
And then he told us, he said, love thy neighbor as we love ourselves. And then we wonder why a lot of this stuff is going on in the world. We saying we loving our neighbors, but we're not even loving ourselves because we're allowing a lot of stuff to take place that shouldn't even be taking place. So that's what's happening. But I'm here to let people know that we love you and we want you free.
Yes. You don't have
We want you to know that you have purpose. You have purpose. You weren't just placed here. It's no coincidence that you're here, that you have purpose. And there's people that are connected to your life. So today we want you to choose. We want you to choose. We want you to choose.
Just that she's on it.
I don't see her. She's not in the studio. But I'm going to bring you up. I can still see her if she comes on. She's on this link?
That's the one I sent her.
Yeah, I don't see her. Yeah, it's not. She's not in the backstage area. I see Veronica.
Oh, now. Hold on.
Did she click on the link you sent, or did she click on the live?
I'm about to ask her right now. Hello? Hello? What did you click on? You got to go in. Go up some. Put your name in. Sorry, y'all. Put your name in, and then you'll hit enter. That blue bar, you got to enter into it. Yeah, you gotta put, no, you gotta put your name in, and then you gotta click that bar to go into the back. That's why I told you it's the back room.
I tell her I see her coming.
We see you coming in now. We see.
We see you.
We'll see you in a minute.
All right, so I'm gonna let you have the floor, and you just let me know when you want me to bring somebody in, okay?
All right, you can actually bring her in. You can actually bring her in. You can bring her in. Yeah, because we got a kind of a schedule, so you can bring her in.
Okay.
Hey, darling, how are you?
Hi. Hi. How are you?
I am awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this beautiful domestic violence marathon event, honey. And I would like you to know that we love you. And I want you to tell the viewers and everybody about who you are and what you do.
Well, hello everybody, and excuse me while I try to fix my camera so you guys can see my thing.
It's all
It
right.
kind of it kind of zoomed in all the way. Okay, and then my thing. So, thank you for having me on this amazing virtual book tour. I appreciate everything. Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you very good, honey.
Okay. So my name is Jessica Castaneda, soon to be Jessica Campbell. I'm getting married in like less than 9 days,
Oh,
which is crazy. But I am the owner of Hawkeye Home Care, okay, which is independent private care for elderly and disabled people located in the capital region. I am also the owner of Blessings Wellness Center located in downtown Troy. Okay.
yeah.
I am a medium medical intuitive Reiki master, body contourist, author of Poetic Blessings from
Yes,
Afar.
her newest book. Please
Yeah,
go get it.
exactly. Please, please, please. It's available on blurb.com, and you just got to type in Poetic Blessings from Above. I am also the editor in chief, which Sheena is one of our writers for
Yeah,
Blessings Magazine.
I am.
Okay.
Ingredients of the soul.
And that is also available on blurb.com. Um, and we also have, which brings us to where we are now. In this magazine, there is an expose on domestic violence survivors to success stories. So it's a 4-page layout of two beautiful women, okay, who have survived domestic violence and has overcame it, succeeded on many levels. You guys might know this lady right there. Okay, I think she looks familiar.
Yes.
Her story and her success is featured in October's issue of Blessings Magazine. And I am also with this beautiful lady here, Miss Sheena Gourdine, co-host of The Rundown Live talk show, which airs every Friday on Facebook and YouTube. We offer a platform for entrepreneurs, activists, and artists to come on our show so they can showcase their talents, their services, their products, and just sit down and, talk about real stuff that, we can all relate to.
So, sis, question
Yeah.
for you. Can you tell me about your domestic violence experience?
Whew. So,
The
because
short
of
version
you,
of it. Short version. Short
I go
version.
because of you. She
Okay.
invited me to be in the docu-film Through Their Eyes, The Mask Behind the Mask. And I tell my story of domestic violence. Short story, real quick for you guys. Basically, I went from the victim to the villain of that story because unfortunately, a lot of people, when they think of domestic violence, they only think of men abusing women. But in my story, it was reversed after I was abused, emotionally. Can't say physically, but definitely emotionally. Okay? So I took that hurt and I transform it to abuse for my partner at that time. And fast forward 10 years later, um, I was writing my original book, Betrayed, but it didn't publish it. And I realized how I was wrong on so many aspects in that relationship and how I really was an abuser too. So two
Mhm.
wrongs definitely didn't make a right in that sense. And I had to, heal from it, and I had to apologize my actions and make amends with my ex-partner at that time.
Now, would you say that do you regret going through any of that, or would you say it actually helped you to be a better person now?
I would say Do I regret it? No. Would I want to go through it again? Hell no.
Listen,
Language.
none of us want to go
Don't want to go through that again to learn what I did. It was definitely a learning experience. It definitely um, molded me. It played a part in who I am today, especially when I was able to really process it and learn from it and heal from it. Everything, you know what I mean? Just what I allow to happen to me. You know, look at the red flags,
Yeah.
pay attention to the red flags.
Yes.
They're popping up for a reason. You understand? To know that I deserve much better, and then you know you can't change everybody. You can't change those who don't want to change. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
a lot of people stay stuck in a relationship that isn't good for them because they feel like, oh, they're gonna change, you know, and they don't. And then by the time anything happens, God forbid, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't regret it. I just definitely don't want it to happen again.
Now, would you have any words of encouragement or any advice for anybody that may be going through it or that may be not knowing where to go or what to do? Like, do you have any information or any words of advice you could give them?
Yeah, I would definitely say number one, get out of it. Talk to somebody. Okay, reach out. In Blessings magazines, there's a few places that I refer you to, but I'll just name one for right now. It's Domestic Hotline. The number is 1-800-799-7233. Call somebody. Let them know you are not alone and you definitely are not wrong. You don't deserve this. This is not your fault. You didn't bring it upon yourself, okay? Regardless of no matter what you did, you understand what I'm saying? You don't deserve to be abused mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Reach out to somebody. You know, that's why I love these platforms that you do, everything that you do between your workshops, because they really bring out people to feel comfortable and to know that it's okay to go through this. You know, whether it's men or women. You
Yeah.
understand? And
Definitely.
just to know that you have to let somebody know. Okay, it's okay to take that mask off, and it's okay to say, no, I'm not okay. Yes, I am being abused. I need help. What do I do? So just definitely reach out to people. People are somewhere, everywhere. Somebody's there to help you. Call me if you need to.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's
Definitely.
it. Reach out to me if you need me. I'll help you.
So, yeah, I see everybody. She said, call her if you need
Call me.
help. Listen, she said the 1-800 number is not helping. Call her.
Call
Email
me.
her. She
Yep,
said she's here for it. And
I
that's
am because it's so
and
important.
you know, it's a word of advice that you're not alone and you're not there by yourself. And there is always somebody out there that's willing to help you. You just got to know where to go and who to talk to. It's
Yeah,
not in silence.
yeah. Do not. It's your worth more than that, and your life means more than that. Okay, this one instance can shape and mold your life, but it also can end your life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Just at the drop of a dime, you may not think this person is capable of harming you as far as taking your life away, but it only takes one thing.
Yeah.
You can get pushed and hit your head against the wall and be done.
And we're done.
You know what I mean? They can have access to a gun and shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Or a knife and stab you. You know what I mean? Or drug you. There's so many ways they can do it, but it's not worth it. That love does not hurt.
Yes.
Love does not hurt.
Would you like to share a poem on the platform before you leave us?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, from poetic to classy.
Come back. Come on.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Let me see which is a good one. They're all good, so it's always hard to tell.
You
Okay,
know I will.
let me see. All right, I like this one. So it's called Believe. Okay, believe in the power of love. Believe in the unity sent from above. Believe there is more than what we see with our eyes. Believe that aliens really do exist in the sky. Yes, they do, you guys. Believe you are here for a reason. Believe you deserve the best for each season. Believe you are special and one of a kind. Believe you are destined to be great in time. Believe once you leave this world, you will return home. Believe your loved ones will be waiting for your return. Believe in yourself. Believe in your worth. Believe you were made from heaven and placed on earth. Believe you were created from love from the Almighty above.
Amen. Girl,
Believe in yourself. Believe.
everybody
Believe
heard that? Believe. The word of
in
rain.
what you deserve.
Believe.
Know your worth.
Yes. Believe that you know that you're worthy.
Yes.
That you know that you don't walk alone. Believe. I graciously appreciate you for gracing us with all that beautifulness over there.
Amen. Thank you for
Hi,
coming on
Angela.
and
Thank
sharing
you
with
for
us.
having me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and thank you for coming on and
I
being
think her screen trying to
transparent.
connect. I can't hear her.
Thank you
hear
so
me?
much, ladies. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, honey.
Blessings
Love
on
you.
blessings.
Yes. Leave your information in the comments when you go back off the page.
Yes, please post all your information for us.
Okay, I don't know how to comments. I will post it all right there.
When you get out, you can go into the thing that we're in, the live stream on Facebook because it's on my page, and go leave all your information in there.
Okay. I'm doing that now. Yep.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
This is your 4:30. Bring her on.
Hey, sis.
You want me to bring her on?
I can't even hear her.
You can't hear me?
Hello, because I think my thing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Sis, I'm gonna log out and log back in because my thing is acting special. Give me 1 second, honey.
Okay. Well, of course, we always have technical difficulties. Now, Shauna, she had to leave. She had to she's gonna log out. She's having technical difficulties with her mic, I think, with her so we're gonna bring her back. She's coming back in. Let me see.
I'm back. Yeah, my thing was acting retarded. Sorry. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't see you.
But I can hear you. It's okay.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I'll be right back. Let me log off and log back on. I'm sorry. I'm back though.
It's always something.
Yeah, ain't no but
I'm used to it now.
he know we doing what we're supposed to do, but it's all right.
Yeah, I'm used to it now.
Yeah. That's why I just, if you could have heard me, I was like, I'll be right back. Let me log off, log back on. I'll be back. So yes, but that was my amazing co-host, business partner, and many things.
Yes, she's amazing. I thank God for you guys.
Yes, she is. And as y'all see, the word is believe. Believe you can do it. Believe that you're worthy.
Believe. You got to believe.
Yes. But a little about me, because before we bring Veronica, I'm gonna tell them just a snippet, because it seems like everybody's probably gonna be able to tell you a little bit about me, because most of them work with me. But I am SHANA GOURDINE. I'm originally from Cross, South Carolina. I am now residing in Troy, New York. I am the author of this beautiful book called The Mask Behind the Mess. is a book of poetry and spoken words that I put together for people to love all the imperfections in spite of what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I am a 3-year survivor of domestic violence. I am a big advocate for domestic violence. I write for her magazines, Blessings. My title of my thing is called Ingredients for the Soul. I also am working with the author panel that I also do with the guy Tashawn. He's coming on later on today. I'm also part of Her Temple Monologue, which is a nonprofit organization. I am also working with her on the podcast, The Rundown on Fridays. I actually am on another podcast called Feel Good Talk. And I'm also do that Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that is called Words from the Heart. I'm on my second book that will be dropping in November. My documentary film will be dropping this month that I'll be working with Veronica, who's about to come up. I've also been in her music video called Don't Cry. Yeah, it's a lot of hats.
I want to be like you when I grow
I'm a
up.
mother of 2 beautiful girls. I sell paparazzi jewelry as well. Everything $5. And I just actually got asked to be on another platform today after having an interview with this girl that's from Pennsylvania. So once I get all those details, y'all have that too. But I'll be on there blogging with her and also speaking on her different panels that she might need me to speak on. This is me. Oh yeah, and I'm the owner of the SHANA Master Motivation, which I create where I do my motivational speaking, my seminars, my conferences, my workshops, my mentorship. I just got my life coaching certificate, so life coaching, market branding, and all the above.
You do more than me, girl.
No.
Yes. I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be just like you.
And I was in her amazing calendar that we did for domestic violence survivors that I have. So
yes, she is.
I am
very beautiful. I don't show them. Look, you know I don't show them.
Yes, I saw you earlier.
I don't show them.
I'm August. I is August.
There she go.
There she go.
There she go.
Yes. A woman of many hats.
Beautiful woman of God. I love her. I tell you, she always blessed my heart. She blessed my heart. I fell in love with you. I don't even know how we connected, but I fell in love with your spirit.
I think, you know what? I reached out to you about being on your blog. And from there, being on your blog, I then started on your page. And then from there, I was on different platforms. And then we connected and we continued and we talked and we vibed. And that's just that sister from another mother that God created us to be together and put universes together and just knew what it needed to be.
That's
right
it.
time, right moment.
That's it. That's it. But I thank God for you.
Thank you.
I truly do. You have truly been a blessing. I wouldn't trade this journey for nothing. You know. Yeah. No, I didn't understand when I was enduring it, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Now that I've endured it and to help somebody else, I'll do it again.
Definitely. And you know, a lot of people ask me that question. It was like, and that's another reason why I titled it The Mask Behind the Mask, because just to get y'all also in some other information, I do have 3 different health conditions that I don't look like. I have invisible chronic illness. I have fibromyalgia, which is the chronic nerve pain. I have ankylospondylitis, which is arthritis in my spine that goes to the rest of my joints like rheumatoid arthritis. And then I have a kidney disease. So with all these in tune, I take my scars and I take it to heal other people because it was a message and a real reason why I'm walking this path. I went through what I went through to help others, and that's just what I feel that God gave me that purpose to do. So I'm going to do my purpose and give them the divine healing and, just be that vessel to help people take that mask off and be comfortable behind their own skin and understand that we went through some things, but you don't have to stay there. There's always a victory at the end. You just gotta be ready to strive and run that battle because it's always going to be a test and you just got to be ready for it.
My friend, she has a kidney disease too. She's actually had 2 kidney transplants. She had her first one at 9 years old. So she's actually an author too. She wrote a book. It's called Hattie's Journey. And it talks about her journey with having to have a kidney transplant and how she dealt with that and going to school.
Mhm.
And then she had to have a second kidney transplant. And then after going through all of this,
Mhm.
she got diagnosed with a form of cancer that was brought on from the medicine that she took.
She was taken.
So I'm gonna show you a picture of her. She's actually in one of the calendars too.
Okay.
This is Dr. Felicia.
Oh,
I can't see her really good.
I think you was showing it one day on the thing, and I seen it.
But yeah, she has had this journey, and she has been in simpler situation like that.
Definitely say God bless. I can say with my kidney disease, they're functioning 100%, but I have sisters all over my body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just, like I said, I'm very careful. I drink a lot of water. I try to not even anything I can prevent for it to go down, you know, because I don't have no control of it. But I continue to pray and continue to pray for healing. And he got me here for a reason, and we doing what we got to do.
That's
So,
it.
my next guest is Veronica.
And she's there, and I'm gonna bring her up.
Okay, thank you, love bug.
Hi,
Hey,
you're
you're
muted.
muted.
Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm sorry.
Everybody
like-
muted.
It happens, man. How you guys doing?
You are
All right,
awesome.
how are you today?
I'm doing good. I just want to just thank you guys for inviting me to be part of this amazing panel, you guys, and just honored. Just thank you. Thank you.
Listen,
Thank
we
you for
honored to
coming.
have
Thank you
you.
for being a part.
No, stop it, yeah. You give me blush. Now.
So,
It's
Miss
all good.
Sarah G, can you please tell me about you and what you do, honey?
Oh God, I mean the list goes on. I mean, all
I
right.
know, honey. You better move on. I got you. You do. Yeah.
I right now was running to take care of things today. And I'm like, I had to take care of this and do what I do, but I'm here, baby. I'm here. Okay, I'll let
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll make it short and sweet, guys. I am an artist, entrepreneur. I own the Vero G production company, coincide with the magazine Vero G production. Magazine, forgive me. Wow. With the Vero G Spotlight TV show, radio. We do radio. Oh my God, the list goes on. All right, I'm an entrepreneur, TV host. The list goes on. I'm author, poet.
All the above.
Yeah, just something of everything in there. I'm just trying to. Yes.
My question to you is, can you give us a brief version of your domestic violence experience and how did it
Yes.
move?
Okay. So with that person, I was with them for 5 years. You know how it all starts. First, it's lovey dovey. Man, listen, stories. No, of course, they show you the one side, where they show you some affection, they care about you and all that, and then it started turning around after I believe around like the second year. I started seeing some signs, and I was just like kind of like love is blind, so I just go along with it. And then eventually it got to a point where it was starting with the yelling, and then it started from the verbal to physical. There were points in our relationship where it was really bad, where I had to like lock the door, and because we was living in like in a rental room or so forth, and I had to like basically let him stay out and find a way to sleep or somehow when I had to stay in to be safe. There were a couple of times where he threw objects at me, and I had injuries due to that. It was it was hell. It was hell. And there was one incident where I if my son wasn't there, let's put it that way, I felt like I would not be here talking to you right now today. No, it's fine. Where it got to a point where one time he oh boy he came into the house, and it was one thing led to another, where I was watching TV, and next thing you know, I see him beating me to a pulp, and he pulled me down on the floor. He kept hitting my head. And all I know was I was knocked out. And when I woke up, it was basically me full of blood. My fist was swollen. I had to run out the house immediately with my son to go get some safety, my parents' house, and go through the of course you call it the legal procedures, get the order protection, all that. But when the worst feeling in the world is when the cops, they have to ask you these questions about your abuser, and all that sorts, and to the point where they have to take pictures of you, And I actually asked the officer. I said, "Listen, can I see?" And they said, "No." And we said, "Just not you." And that right there was like a moment where I realized I have to change my ways and my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And we blessed that you're here to see and be here with us today to empower us to,
Thank
understand that there's a way out, and you don't have to sing, you don't have to be silent, you don't have to sit in silence and take it just because that's what's given to you.
That's right.
We love you for being here.
Thank
So
you.
my other question for you is, what is any words of encouragement that if someone's going through this right now, or they need help, or anything they may need you to tell them about domestic violence awareness, what would you tell
Oh wow, yes. I would say the best thing is first you have to get out safely. That's the number one rule. I know how people tell you, "Girl, why don't you leave him?" They
them?
don't know what you're going through emotionally, so they shouldn't be there to make fun of you or judge you. Instead of that, you should have friends that are going to encourage you to find a safe way out before it gets to that point.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. The second thing I would say as advice for anybody who's watching now is when you go into the healing process and you find yourself down the line, you're gonna look. We all have scars. It's gonna be part of our lives no matter what. But you have to just find a way and forgive yourself, because down the line it's not yourself. It's not you don't judge you for saying, why did I stick around too long, or why did no, don't, because down the line it was something you didn't expect to happen down the line. So don't judge yourself or make you feel a certain way, or to that point. That's my second thing. My third thing I would say is down the line, I believe is you have to have a strong faith in God. That's my main thing, because that really helped me go through my situation. And it was so many times, Sheena, you don't even know. I tried to escape. Let's put it this way. I tried to do things to myself to get out.
Just to end it, so you don't have to deal with it anymore, and that's more of the devil messing with your mental. I definitely agree.
Yes. I'm telling you, I had so many of those, and I tell you, it wasn't because, like I said, God was on my side, and I just kept saying, "It's gonna get better next day. It's gonna get better," and you have to have that. You have to mentally prepare yourself, physically, and everything, and be positive, and let nobody stop you, and just say down the line, "It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better." That's the main thing to anybody who's watching now, who's going through it. Please don't judge yourself for what you're at right now, because it's not your fault. You have to just be careful and find someone that's going to help you to get out safely, and know that no matter what, you deserve better.
Yes, and you said it all. You said it correct. Like, definitely, like, you gotta find, one, you have to make sure you get this together, because once they literally mess you up,
Yes.
that's what ends up keeping you a lot of times, because your mind is not in the right places. It's everywhere else. You feel self less than who you are, and all of those things. So you have to be strong, and like you said, God plays a major part. Because
Yes.
I've had those times. I remember being locked in a bathroom and just praying, let me just get out of this. So I definitely understand.
Definitely.
So, Miss Artist, poet,
Yes.
and production company, and all the above,
Yes.
would you bless us with a song or a poem or anything today,
Ooh. Actually,
ma'am?
see, big shout out to you and Jess, because actually I got one of my poem books with me right now. Stand by.
And we be knowing,
Yeah.
tell
I
me
was
what
like,
the name of your book is
oh
as
yes.
well. Yes,
Okay.
please let them know what's your book.
Okay, this is my autobiography. Is called Trials and Tribulations and Autobiography of Vero G. You guys could get your copy at www.amazon.com. It's an amazing inspirational story. It talks about, like I mentioned, but being in a domestic violence relationship for over 5 years, and then I was another one 8 years. So that's like a double. So
Double,
long.
yeah.
Oof, girl. And then on top of that, being a rape victim, being pregnant and the foster care system, and also, being homeless. It was like a lot of things happened in my life. I felt like this was my testimony. I had to say it, because you never know who you could save down the line. Trading and say, wow, who you inspire to, do their own thing. So
Definitely. So can we get blessed with that poetry?
Yes. I got you.
Yes.
Okay, my love. All right. So this is actually it's a uplifting poem. It's called "Don't Ever Give Up."
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yes, we ready. I'm
Okay.
all for it. Let's go.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Don't ever give up. Put your head up high. Realize that you are special. Be yourself. Ignore others that hate on you. You can only love yourself. Walk with your pride. Show others that everything will be all right. You can grow like a bouquet of flowers. Blossom beautifully and display yourself. So I say, don't ever give up. Stay strong and keep going. You will be the rock that holds your strength. Don't ever give up.
Amen. Yes. I
Thank
heard
you.
that. Do not ever give up. I hope y'all listen. Do not ever give up. Whatever it is you going through, don't give up. Tell them
Don't give up.
Don't give
That's
up.
right. That's
You
right.
got to believe.
You got to believe. Don't
Got
give
to believe.
Definitely.
Got to believe.
But this is also this is my other person with the production of the documentary film that we dropped in October.
Yes.
This is my host. You know.
I'm excited for all that you are doing. I am glad that you are doing the things that you are doing. I appreciate you for all that you're doing. And I pray that God continue to bless you on this journey. I plan to stay connected with you guys. This is just the beginning of what God is getting ready to do. I thank you for sharing your journey. I thank you for sharing your book, because there are a lot of people don't understand. When I started this organization, when people became a part of the organization, I told them it was about more than books.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know why I was telling people that when I created this organization in 2016. I would tell people when they want to sign up to be a part of my organization, I didn't know what it was going to lead to. But I knew that it was about more than books. And as I began to do this, God began to reveal to me exactly what it was.
Amazing.
And He allowed us to have these books because there's messages inside these books that people need.
Yes.
And people not going to church, people not doing a lot of stuff to get the message that they need. In these books, your testimonies, these shows, this is going to be the only way that people are going to be healed now. So I thank y'all for being obedient and stepping out on faith.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank
I
you.
thank y'all. And I thank y'all for coming on today and being transparent, because I know it's not easy sharing your story. I know it's not. And every time you share, y'all just don't realize. Somebody tuned in today. They need to hear your story, Veronica.
Yes.
Yep.
And the only way I could connect with you was through SHANA. See,
Yeah.
I know what he be doing. He be orchestrating stuff. He had already planned this before we was even created, baby.
Yeah, he had
This
it
was
going.
already ordained. You know, I hate that we had to go down the roads that we went down and the journeys that we had, but we had to.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nobody else could do. Nobody else could handle. Just think of it like this. Nobody else could handle the things that we endured.
Yes.
Amen.
See, we
That's
had to
true.
endure those things so that those people that went through, that's going through, we will be able to share like we doing, so that they won't have to go through what we went through.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Jeremiah 29:11 ain't no joke. He said he knew the plan that he had for our lives. To prosper us, for us to be in good health, for us to have hope in the future. He knew all that before he even created this world.
That's true. That's true.
He had already set us apart. He said he set us apart. That's why you can't. We wonder why we don't fit in with people. We wonder why we different from even our family. We wonder that. Why we not like other family members?
Amen.
Why
Oh
we
God.
not like?
Yes.
Because he set us apart.
Yeah. He
Just
already
for this
planned.
time.
Mm-hmm.
We wonder why things didn't go the way we wanted them to go when we wanted them to go, because he set us apart just for this time.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Just for this time. And people don't understand. God raising up, he raising up a new brand of people that's
Mm-hmm.
going to share his word with truth.
Very true.
With truth.
Oh, I felt in church right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed this right now.
But he knew you needed it. This is what we here to do. We here to bless each other.
That's
Definitely.
it. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what our life, what do life mean to you? Miss Veronica, what
Yes.
does that four-letter word, L-I-F-E, what does that mean to you? Life.
To me, I feel life is a blessing. That's the first and foremost thing I would say. You know, I think life is just something that we shouldn't take for granted, and every day is a blessing. We've up, you know, and to start a new day is do something new for yourself, for people around you and your community, and to embrace people in unity. That's why I feel what life is about, you know, and you know that's why that's how I feel about it.
God broke that thing down to me. Every letter, every single letter. L, love. Why? Because love covers a multitude of sin. He said, love thy neighbors as we love thyself. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be showing love. Love
Yes.
draws. Love draws. Love poor people. Inspiration. Our life's supposed to be an inspiration to others. We're supposed to inspire people. People see us, we shouldn't even have to open our mouth. Our actions should inspire people. And then the fear of God. That's the only thing we're supposed to fear. We ain't supposed to have the fear of nothing. Nothing but the fear of God. The E3 experience, it threw me. I said, Lord, ain't nobody gonna know what it is.
Ooh. Ooh.
The E3 experience, ain't nobody gonna know what it is. You know what he said?
A whole lot of experience over here.
I'm ready.
I was looking around like somebody was literally in this room with me. Like 2012, I gave that to you. You ain't shared it with nobody. Why? Why you sitting on it? You ain't shared it with nobody.
Yeah, we have to learn that
You educate,
you
empower,
Definitely.
and encourage.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't did none of that. Stop sitting on it. I can't stop sharing it. I can't stop sharing it now.
And that's a good thing.
Every it's on the front cover of my book.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
People need to know. He said, I've been just existing. I ain't been living life. Life's been happening all around me. Everybody else been living their life. Because I ain't been loving nobody. I ain't been inspiring nobody. And then I've been lying about having the fear of God. Because how can you have the fear of God and you don't even love your neighbors and your brothers and your sisters? So how can you say you love me if you don't love them? You don't even love yourself. And when that hit me, I had to, I'm talking about, I had to go evaluate me. I had to look at me.
And that's a lot of times where in my book I talk about the mess, and that's evaluating yourself.
Yes.
Have to.
Definitely.
Have to. But I tell y'all, I have been truly blessed today. Thank you so much
for
coming on, Miss Veronica.
Thank you so much.
So the word for Veronica is don't ever give up. That's Veronica's word for today.
Yes,
definitely. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Definitely, guys. Thank you.
I want to hear a song. Can you bless me with a song?
You want a song, Veronica? Let's go, give it G.
You want me to sing right now? I mean, I could sing the song "Don't Cry" if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play. Stay right there. I got you.
All right. We're gonna stay right
here. And Sheena's also in the video too. Yeah. Hold on, guys. Let me see if give me 1 second because I have to refresh it. All right. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Oh man, this is awesome. Yes.
This is what we do. We bless them.
Yes. Amen to that.
That's it. I'm gonna have to get you on my show. I have a radio show too on first and third Sundays. From 8 to 10 on Fedora Radio.
Oh, nice. Cool. Okay, well, I'm here. Just, I mean, if you want to connect, you know, that's all good. That's all good. Definitely, man. Let me just wait to this thing. You know how this thing is like, you gotta refresh it.
You know how electronic do. It's fine.
Electronic is something else.
Don't get me started with that.
That be the trick of the enemy. That's how they're trying to distract.
That's all. That is it.
Don't know we got patience like I don't know what. Hey, Daphne. I had to send a shout out to Daphne because Daphne, y'all, she came on today.
In Germany, right?
With me. Yes, in Germany. Yes.
October 21st.
October 21st.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love her. I love her. She blessed me today.
Awesome. Yay, that's amazing. Really cool, guys. Really cool. All right, I'm gonna play for you right now. Let me set up. Before I start, guys, also real quickly, cheap plug they call it. You guys can also check out, thank you. Okay, you guys could check out my sophomore album called The Rat to G. It's already out on all digital platforms. Just check it out. You guys could buy if you're interested, or so far I appreciate it. The Victory album also is coming out this month, third album, and I also have a single with Cuban Link. It's called Come With Me, Vente Conmigo, which is coming out in October, this coming month. Yes. So yeah.
Make sure you post your links so people can connect with you.
Yes.
Definitely. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. All right, so let me cue this up for you guys, and I'm going to sing my butt off here for you. Okay, let me, here we go. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
You know how
is this even on?
it's doing its own thing.
Okay, because that's what it did.
You know how it goes.
I'm over here like, where? Is my volume? Okay, it's up. Okay. Let me see if I can put it up again. All right, I hope you guys can hear it. Okay, here we go.
Daphne said, hey, ladies.
Hey. Girl, don't you cry. It's been worth your time. Playing those games. It's hard to say goodbye. He made a fool of you. Took your innocence. Took your common sense. You're his property. Act like this is the norm. He ain't no good for you. And leave before it's too late. Gotta be strong. There'll be better days. Just move on. Find someone worth your time that appreciates your love, your heart, your everything. You're beautiful in every way, and let no one take that away. You're a gem. In many ways, I know that I'm there for you. I'm a phone call away. When it hurts you, I will break his face and sure he will be replaced. He will never hurt or call you. Cut your ties and start all over. Start all over. Start over.
Thank you.
I got you. We're almost done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on. We almost done. I've been there in your shoes, torn in pieces, didn't know what to do. Was beat and broken from a man who 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 said he loved me, told me sweet dreams, but only lies and being mean broke my spirit and my heart left me in the cold to rush and die. Put fear in me, didn't believe in me. Crush my limbs, crush my life, crush my thoughts until I woke up from this hell to get out and get away to start my life in a better place. Wipe these tears that he has caused. 'Cause now you see I've been there too. You're not alone. You got me too. Got my pain. Be a story to open your eyes. Know that there is so much to life to see the beauty around you. It's hard to see.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, let me get back to the chat. Where are you guys? Hold on, I'm here. I had to go back to YouTube. Yes, I'm back, guys. It's like it took a little while. Like, just to hear.
Get it.
Thank you so much. Make sure that you post your links.
Yeah,
Make sure to post your links, please.
I definitely will. Definitely. Thank you so much, guys. I'm honored. And also, thank you, guys. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, my love. Thank you. And also,
Thank you, Chandra, for coming on. She loved your song. She said "Better Days."
oh, you're welcome. I love you. Welcome. Oh, wrong song. Yeah, wrong. Like, wait a minute. I'm not playing this song. Awkward. Technical stuff. But guys, you also can get my website. It's at www.verogmusic.com. All my stuff contacts there. I just want to thank you, ladies, for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Go into the screen and put all that in there too, so that we can have all. So just in case somebody might want to contact you about something, drop away please, ma'am.
Definitely not. Thank you. Oh yeah. I got you.
You know you're a woman of many hats too.
Oh man, listen.
I'm gonna be like y'all when I grow up.
Listen. She got many. Angela got many hats too, so don't let her fool you.
She's
I'm
like,
not like y'all.
listen now.
Don't let her fool you. She casual.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have really made my day. I have enjoyed everyone that has come on. Y'all have really made my day. It's a blessing.
You're welcome.
I thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
And you're welcome to come back to my platform anytime.
Oh, shoot. Ow. Okay. Well.
Plug-in connections.
She like, hook me up.
Y'all know I don't mind.
No, it's all good, guys. I appreciate it.
Y'all know I don't mind.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, guys. I'm still trying to do the chat here. I'm like, is that on the comments, right? I'm double checking.
I see it. You posted something. I see it.
Okay, yeah, because I can't go to comments. I have to log in. I was like, oh, man. So
I got it.
Okay, I'll just give it to you guys and put the good word in.
Put the good word in?
Yeah, I'm over here like, I'm trying to figure this thing out right now, man. No, that happened to me, man. Yeah, it's not. Oh, I double check. Okay.
Oh, no, I posted the wrong thing again. I supposed to went down here to you. I posted the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, guys. Okay. Oh, this is awesome, man. Yay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, I don't.
There you go.
Oh. Awesome. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
And
guys.
they can get your book from which link? The
Oh
first one?
no,
The
that's
book.
the YouTube
Where they can
channel.
get your book from? The
Um,
virgomusic.com?
no. They could go to Amazon. I'll write it down in the chat right here.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, yeah.
Can they buy
That's
your book from your website? It helps the Octomore.
um. It's weird. I'm still trying to figure that out. How to set that up.
Your website.
Yeah, but if anything, they go to Amazon and they could just type in. I'll tell you where. Okay, hold on. I got you guys. Let me get. Uh, okay, got it. So there, you guys could type that up. It should pop up the book. Just the cover of it with that. Yeah.
Trials and tribulations.
Definitely, man. Awesome. Oh, let me check. Awesome. Yay.
I love you.
Yes. Love you guys.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, ladies. I think I'll get myself out of here, right?
Let me make sure I got this up here, right?
Okay, I don't know. It's been a while I've done this.
Normally,
wait a-
you're the one that's interviewing everybody else.
No, everybody's like, what's going on here? It's this thing that's COVID that happened, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I got you. I got you up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, not so much. Thank you. All right,
Your
Marty.
next guest is here. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my loves. Have a good night.
You too, sweetie. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You ready for your next guest?
Huh?
T-Shawn.
Is he in
Tayshawn.
there? Is he in there?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm gone.
Hello. Are you there? I see
Hey,
you
what's
coming
going
in.
on? I had to, I had to figure it out, but I made it work. Can you hear me?
Shauna, can you
I
hear
can't
me?
see him.
You
I
can't
have to
see
log
him?
off and log back on, hon.
Okay.
Mine is acting retarded. Hold on a second.
Okay.
You hear me?
I heard
Because it's
you.
being special.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm doing great. I can hear you.
All right, perfect.
It's always something with technology. So
I,
her thing is messing up, so she had to log out and come back in.
oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. So
It's always
technology
something. We've
is,
having issues all day.
I
And then
understand it.
everybody out of school around here and they doing internet schooling. So that's
So
even
that makes
worse.
it worse. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because all in this
Yeah.
area that I'm in Myrtle Beach, and it's like
Oh, okay.
nothing but strips of it's strips of apartments. It's like 4 big old apartment complexes right here beside each other, and then on the other side ain't nothing but houses. So just imagine everybody using the internet.
Right. My wife is actually from Orangeburg.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're from around that neck of the woods. So
I'm
we're
originally from
familiar.
upstate.
Greenville, Rock
Anderson.
Hill, Anderson.
Anderson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I think I know some people from Anderson. Now that I think about it. Now that you said that.
Yeah, it wanted to be special again.
It's always something, girl. It's always something.
I'm like, I guess
How long?
it's giving me an hour and say, okay, we're gonna have to charge you every hour.
Well, it's okay.
Uh,
It's okay.
Hey, the internet,
Hi,
the internet thing is real. What's up?
how are you? Welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna move out the way.
All right, honey. Welcome. I am awesome that you have graced this your peace with us today.
I know, right?
Don't sound
Even
so
though
enthused.
we see each other all the time, so
I know. But you know, for the
to,
other people, they
for
don't
other
see.
people that's true. That's true. But it's been an interesting day. But I'm excited to share what I got going on, and you know.
So tell me about Mr. Deshaun Murdoch, please. And what do you
Okay.
do?
So I do a little bit of everything, but I'll go with all of the author stuff that I do.
So you can tell us all
So
your administrative stuff too.
right, right. So I just wrote this lovely book called I Can and I Will. This book is a children's book inspiring kids or children to be anything they want to be. And so, I guess I'll give people a little sneak peek. Let me see
Let me
what
see what's
page
going on with
what page I want to show everyone. But I just wrote this book. I started writing this book in March. And, I really wrote it in an effort to empower kids, especially now through these tough times where, kids are doing virtual. They don't know if they're going to go back to school or if they are in school, they don't know how long they're going to be in school. And then for some kids, home is
Rough.
an interesting situation for some and rough for some. So this book is really for them to help them defy the obstacles, but also to know that they can be anything they want to be. So I'll show you one of my favorite pages in this book. So the book is very colorful. Let me make sure I can get it in the screen. So the
Yes.
book is very colorful. But this is one of my favorite pages. Let me, it's kind of reversed here. So this one right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "I will be powerful even when others say I'm powerless." And that page is really meant to remind kids that even when they're maybe hearing that they're not going to do something from their peers, or the struggle is real with their parents, and that can absolutely be the case. This
Mm-hmm.
page can serve as a reminder to them that they have the power to do whatever they want to do despite the obstacles, and they can overcome those obstacles if they want to. So that's one of my favorite pages in the book, but that's all I can show you. If you want to order the book, you got to go online,
Where can
tayshawnmurdoch.com.
where can they find it, and how much is it?
Yeah. So it's tayshawnmurdoch.com. You can go on there, or you can go to tcmurdochpublishing.com as well. Either
Mm-hmm.
site you can purchase it from. I think on my website, it directs you to the TC Murdoch publishing page, and that is $14.50 per book. So, and then we're working on the Authors Network. So over there, you see it behind me. Shameless plug,
Yes, I
shameless
see the.
plug.
I do.
Um,
I co-host on that as well.
right. So we started the Authors Network to provide a platform for new authors like myself, and just authors in general, really to share and connect with other authors and connect with people that may be interested in reading their work. And so, I mean, at this point now, all you got to do is go on Facebook, type in the search engine, the Authors Network. It will pop up. It's the famous blue and red logo. You can't miss it. It's the platform where you can share your content. So join us in the Authors Network. We have our first authors panel that is comprised of 4 different authors that will take place monthly. Our first one is January 30th, 2021. You have no idea how many times I messed with the flyer, didn't get it right with the year. So it's
But we're
January 30th.
human, and that's what happens.
Listen, it happens. It happens. At least we're a few months out. So January 30th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And I tell you, we got some really dope authors in the building. And they're going to really be telling some awesome stories about, why they wrote their book, what their book is about. I mean, you got to check it out. So type in the Authors Network. I don't want to give a lot away. We got a lot going on with the Authors Network. Shana, you're one of the founders of the Authors Network. We won't throw that out there. You don't got to talk about it today. You're in a different capacity. But the Authors Network is
Host today on another network.
right. So the Authors Network is definitely something that I'm excited about. We have our newsletter coming out soon. We're working on the website. So there's a lot of opportunity. There will be a lot of opportunities for authors to share and connect with not only authors, but community members across the country, and so we're trying to create that platform. So some great things coming there, but this is it right here.
I will.
This is it.
Question
So
for you, Simone.
yep.
Have you ever experienced domestic violence, or do you know anyone that have?
So I do know of some folks that have, and I guess I could say I've not necessarily domestic violence, but abuse,
Mhm. Okay.
and then I've also witnessed it. So I have, and then I've spent it's 14 years in youth development as my profession,
Mm-hmm.
and so we a lot of times learn about children who have seen domestic violence. And that has a detrimental effect on how children behave. It can change their personas
Mm-hmm.
in an instant. 1 minute they're happy-go-lucky, and a lot of times what you'll see is
Mm-hmm.
that they'll transition into this quiet or reserved
Mm-hmm.
type where they don't want to share or they don't want to be a part of a group. They'll tend to be what we would call a loner. Um, and so, to answer your question, yes, in those capacities.
Now, being that dealing with kids, and I do have kids as well, and they've seen it go through domestic violence. What were some of the ways that you gave them some type of advice or seeked help for them in getting them into because as you say, they went from being this fun person to a quiet person. So how did you help them in any shape or form or fashion with the domestic violence that they may have been encountered or dealing with?
So one of the things that I always try to do is first and foremost, it's important for us to listen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we go into fixer mode and we feel like we have to fix the problem, but children a lot of times are looking for us just to listen
Yeah.
and for someone to be let's say a confidant or someone they
Mm-hmm.
can confide in. And so the first thing I try to do is listen. Sometimes kids are not going to want to talk right away, so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just have to be there in a comforting standpoint, for lack of better terms, meaning that we just need to be there and when they're ready to have that discussion with us. But until they're ready to have that discussion, it's not our place to force them to have that
Yeah.
discussion with us.
Just kind of
When
be,
you said what? Sorry.
I think just kind of be there for them and give them that support.
Right, and then once they're ready to have that conversation, depending
Mm-hmm.
on how severe the situation may be, we may decide to refer them off to services.
Okay.
And then what we tend to do, or what tended to do, in my experience, is I kind of walk them through the process.
Okay.
Remember that we might, we'll get a child who ends up relying on us from the beginning, and from that
Mm-hmm.
point on, we are a pillar within that fixing or stage of helping.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we can't pull ourselves back, so
Mm-hmm.
we have to still remain there as a person that's comforting them through the process. And so we try to do that, and then we try to encourage them and parents or whoever it is to keep them
Mm-hmm.
coming to the program that they may be in, or keep them busy in activities, because
Okay.
that always helps.
That is totally awesome. Now, if you had to give advice to someone that may be going through this right now, or maybe don't know what to do, being that they might feel stuck after going through it, what would it be?
Well, I would first and foremost encourage folks who are going through it to talk to someone, um, and it's important to do that because that is the way that you will receive assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have to recognize that it's not easy for individuals to talk about it.
True.
And so I would say to find uh, uh, something that provides solace, and peace of mind, I would strongly encourage those individuals to seek out help, though, and find a way to get the resources needed. Um, and don't second guess the thought. If you see it, it's happening, to you specifically. Don't second guess it. Don't wait. Take that exit sign as quickly as you can, and don't put yourself in danger,
Yeah.
for what someone may say, and especially in relationships, what someone may say is love. Love is never you putting your hands on someone else.
And loving.
And I want to be clear, it goes both ways too, right? So it's men and women back and forth.
Hmm.
No one person has the right to put their hands on an individual for any reason. Um,
Exactly.
and my advice to couples all the time is, if you're that upset, take that moment and just walk away. The person might be upset that you walked away, and that's okay. They can be upset, but you saved yourself a lot of hurt and heartache because you chose to take a moment, breathe, think about what it is that's going on, and make informed decisions before you go back into that situation. So that's the advice I would give people, and of course, get resources if and as needed,
Yeah,
and don't hesitate and don't wait.
definitely true. So now, did you give all your plugs on where we can find your book at? And you gave all the information on where to connect with you on your platform, sir?
So of course, I mean, yeah, because you can find everything, about myself on my website. Again, it's tshawnCmurdoch.com. You can find my social media outlets, there. If you need to get in touch with us to schedule an event, for us to come out and speak to youth, about being anything and everything they want to be, you can find all that information on my website, and then you would connect with either Dominique, who's my assistant, or my wife Sumiko, who's my chief of staff. So you connect with one of those two. As far as the book is concerned, and
Mhm.
again, you can go to tshawnCmurdoch.com just to simplify it. I'll give you all these links, and then you're never gonna go there. So,
Just to make it real simple.
right, real simple. tshawnCmurdoch.com.
There
It's
you go.
written. It's almost darn near written at the bottom of the screen.
You got to put
tshawnCmurdoch.com.
.com on it.
Yeah, just put the .com, take out the dash, and then you're good.
So,
But yeah,
all the future entrepreneurs or anybody that's looking to write a book, what would you be your advice to them?
don't second guess. I just had in the Authors Network yesterday, I talked about not second guessing, yourself. It took me, and Shannon, because we talked about this, but it took me, um, years to get out and really write this book. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I think I did was I overcomplicated it,
Okay.
not really looking at my experience and then saying, okay, I can simplify this. You know,
Mhm.
some people are meant to write chapter books. Some people are meant to write children's books. It's really based on you and your circumstance. So I would just say don't second guess your idea. Utilize your talents to write, and don't be afraid to do it. I mean, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. Being an author is not for the weak either. Um, but
Okay.
but but we've been at events together, just out here. The real, now you talk to people and they're like, "Well, Tayshawn, are you going to this thing?"
I'm good.
Let's really talk about that. But just get out there and do it, and have conversations with people around you about ideas. This
Mhm.
book that I just wrote um, is really crafted by multiple people. I get all the credit for it, but it's really you're one of the people. I've hit you up at random times of the day, just like, yo, I got a question. And there were other people that are really involved in helping me
Mhm.
craft this book, and we've gotten great reviews from teachers and from different school districts and kids, and so we know that this book is going to be powerful. And then we're coming out with another book, in about 6 months, and I can throw the title out there because I know what it is.
What is?
It's Stronger Than My Bully.
I get the exclusive.
Yep. So it's Stronger Than My Bully, and so we'll start working out. I know, right? It's like a thing, get the first one out, and then you're ready to write the next one.
You get that itch.
Right. So
you got a lot of itches.
right. I'm trying to take away a few of the itches. So that's. I know I can't. So that book will be coming out probably in about a year. We haven't really started working on it, but we have determined what the title is. And again, it'll be a series of books similar to this one that will be prefaced around making sure kids have the ability to be anything they want to be, to overcome those obstacles.
Yes.
And face this world, man, because this world is a crazy place.
It's Lord. This world has got a lot, and they need that empowerment and that inspiration to know that they can and they will, and they can get through the different things. Angela, amen.
Oh my God, he is an example. He's the E3 experience.
Hey,
he is the E3 experience. Educate, empower, and encourage.
There we go.
Right, and we're doing that through a lot of things, right? So the Authors Network is that too. That message through the Authors Network is really meant to, because the idea is like we may get somebody in the Authors Network who isn't a writer yet or who hasn't published their book, but then they connect with an author who's already published their book. And they're now inspired, whether it be through myself or that author, and they get connected with an author, and then they write 5 or 6 books.
Yep.
It's really about just empowering people across the board. My focus as an author is children, but outside of my book, just inspiring and connecting people, because we have to, right? We've got to create a platform with some type of positivity.
Yeah.
To help each other and help each other grow. So,
yes.
Listen, don't forget. Go check out the Authors Network. It's on
Yes.
Facebook. Just type it in the search engine.
Yes.
Or you can find me.
Y'all don't even understand. I'm telling you, none of this would even be possible. Nothing that I do if it wasn't for them babies.
Right.
Them babies is the reason why I even started this. I used to run a youth program. I used to do summer programs and after school programs. I wanted something different for my babies. I wanted my babies to be able to see themselves inside them books that we was picking up.
Yeah.
That's why I created this in 2016 because of them babies. I wasn't even an author then. Wasn't even an author. Well, since then, I published 16 books.
Right, and I was gonna say that's the same thing. I used to work for. When COVID hit, I stopped working for the Boys and Girls Club, but I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for 4 years. And I've been in youth development for 14 years. I started in youth development when I was 19. And so, for years I've been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a book. Eventually I'm gonna come up with this book. Thinking I gotta write hundreds of pages for people to be impressed. And then I sat down in February and was like, I could write 14 pages. And it could be a children's book, and it can be just as impactful, and it sits within my experience.
Yep.
But the other key point is that with this book, kids can see themselves within this book, and they can know that they can achieve anything they want to achieve. And we're not. This message isn't large or complicated. It's as simple as you can be whatever you want to be. And we're going to tell you that because there's probably somebody at home that's not telling you that, or that's or your friends are not telling you that. And so if this has to be the book that you pull out for 5 minutes to say, this is my book every day that I want to read, then that's what we want. And then listen, I guess I'll give you another sneak peek. So one of the key pieces of this book is the back of the book. So quick story, like I had a book called My Old Teddy. It was like my favorite book when I was like 5 and 6, and I would go home and pull this book out. It was to the point where my mother had to find research, and this is when internet wasn't around, so you had to call people and figure out where the book was coming from. And so this was a book I would pull out every day, and I would just read it. And it was really centered around this. I think it was a little girl who had a teddy bear, and the arms would fall off, but this was her companion. This was her comfort. And mom patched that teddy bear up to the point where the arms eventually couldn't be patched on anymore. So then you ended up having to buy a new teddy bear. Point to this is that it was the favorite book on the bookshelf. For me, I want this book to be the favorite book on the bookshelf. When you go home, this is the book you pull when you're dealing with difficult days. So this is the mantra in the back of the book. Shana, you already know about this, so close your eyes. You already said it 50 times. You helped me write the book. So this is the mantra in the back of the book. And so this mantra is really meant for them to repeat it, maybe when you get up in the morning, maybe when you get home from school, maybe when you go to bed at night. And it's really meant for you to remind yourself about a lot of things, that people are going to call you names, but that you're going to tell them that you're not whatever they call you. And so this is just a piece that is important for us to have in this book as a pivotal reminder that they can be anything they want to be. So, man, we're excited about this book. We're working with a bank right now, trying to get 100 kids with a free book, so we're doing that next week.
400 people this year with your nonprofit organization as well.
Listen, why you gotta throw that out there? That's nothing. That's the behind the scenes work. We're feeding. It was actually 6. Because we got the vegan burgers from somebody that we gave to an after school program. So but we don't talk about that. That's the undercover stuff we do.
But Tashawn, I love you, and I thank you for hopping on with us and gracing us with all that goodness.
I'm gonna be like y'all when I grow up.
Here you go. Listen.
We trying to get like you. You trying to get like you.
No, I'm trying to get like y'all. I'm coming up north. I'm gonna be like y'all.
Listen,
I got to come join y'all mentoring program. I'm for real. Y'all think I'm playing?
Listen.
I'm not laughing. I'm for real.
Shana, we're trying to get out of here.
We trying to get out of here.
Right, we trying to get down there. We're trying to get out of here. So. But nah, man, it's really, if we could take everybody's work and have a little hand and spread in the work, man.
Y'all trying to get where?
We're trying to get out of here, man. We're trying to get out of here.
It's cold up here.
It's cold.
And we it's coming right now.
Well, y'all come on down
here. Listen, thinking about it.
Come on.
I said his wife's from Orangeburg, so
Oh yeah, y'all come on.
And I'm from South Carolina, so
all the South Carolina heads in here.
She's from Myrtle Beach. Well, she's in Myrtle Beach.
I'm from Anderson. He know where Anderson at. He know where it's at.
Mm-hmm. I had some friends that lived in Anderson, and then my mom is from Charleston. And then my wife is from Orangeburg. And
Carolina's in the building.
Oh yeah, you Carolina bound.
Yeah, he Carolina.
Yeah. So, I couldn't escape it one way or the other.
No, not at all.
No. But I appreciate you guys, and
no problem.
I appreciate you sacrificing your time to come on and share. Make sure you post a link so I can share, so people can follow you.
Angela, did you sign up for the Authors Network yet?
Did I?
I don't know. I know I sent you the invite to join. I'm not sure if you signed up for the panel yet.
I know. We don't have to answer that. I know.
I don't think I have.
Nope, she hasn't.
So his hint was telling you to go sign up.
Because listen, I look at the list of authors every day, and I haven't seen Angela's name in there yet. But Shana, I'll leave that to you, so Angela can get on there and tell her story.
Yeah, she got a story to tell.
And she got to do it. She got to do it right now while it's free.
Because we're doing the first 20 free.
First 20. Yep. So jump in there, Angela. Shameless
plug. What I need to do?
I'll remind you. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send you the email. I got you.
Listen, the founder's right over there. The founder. I don't know if I'm pointing at the right way. because you know the screen is
Right.
switched. But the founder is over there. One of the founders is over there. She know where to go.
I
She
got
got
you.
all the
I'll see it.
information.
I'll send you the email. I got you.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
You have
John.
another yes.
I
Appreciate y'all.
Thank
know.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Your other
hey.
guest is on. You want me to bring her up now?
Yeah, you can bring her up now. She gotta go to bed. That's my baby.
Okay.
Honey.
I appreciate you for that.
Yes, I got you. I know you listen, I know you want to talk.
Girl.
I know you gotta get to sleep. I know you just left one job. Listen, them 20 hats. Okay.
That's where you
Shavina.
get it
Right.
from.
And I haven't left the
Yeah,
other one.
look, this one right here. Yeah, this is where I
Yeah.
get all these 20 hats from. This one right here. That's how I got. I'm blaming you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How y'all doing this evening?
All right, how are you?
We are awesome. So, Miss Dina.
I'm good. I'm good.
Or shall I say Miss Brooklyn Shay?
Yeah.
Can you please
Hello. I
grace-
should have put parentheses.
I know, right?
Brooklyn Shay. I should have put that.
So can you graciously tell us about you, the woman of the head of HTM, and the beauty of your soul and the things that you do, baby?
All right. So what do we tell about ourselves? You know, sometimes it's so hard to speak about ourselves. It's like you do a million things, but you're like, let me see. Okay. All right. Well, first and foremost, you already know, I'm a mother, single mom of 3 amazing young people. In regards to how HTM even came about and being the lead and the founder of that, I went through some domestic stuff as well and decided to take that adversity and turn it to something positive and empower our community that we live upstate New York currently right now. But I did hear the ending conversation about South Carolina. My family is from Orangeburg, South Carolina. So I was like, you know what? The Carolinas in here. Yeah. That's the background.
We all
Okay.
in here.
Absolutely. So some kinfolk somewhere, shape, or form. All right.
I got my hats from you. But
Listen, I already know. But in terms of just like the outlook of the program and the organization, it was really to just be a women's empowerment group that grew into an entity that was bigger than ourselves with, reaching back to the community and really informing them about health disparities and about domestic violence, about, different mental health, anything that we could potentially do in a creative, artful way that involved poetry, music, dance, and sound. That would bring people to the events without feeling like they were being, stigmatized or not enjoying themselves, but they were getting a message in the back door. So outside of that, I'm a social worker. That's what I do by trade. That's the office that I'm in right now, the hat I'm wearing. And just an entrepreneur that's out here trying to just continue to just encourage people to live and find their power and, speak their truth. That's ultimately it.
Definitely.
So I would say that's who I am. I'm a light worker, okay? To say the least.
A phenomenal woman. Stop playing. Can you give me a little brief section of what happened beforehand of the domestic violence, and can you give an insight of how you became that survivor of the phenomenal woman you are now?
Absolutely. Well, it definitely started with knowing someone since I was a teenager and, trusting in their ability to be a better person and to leave the street life alone. Thinking that, at that young age, I'm impressionable and he's going to do right by his family and everything like that. And for a minute, it was good. It was great. And then he started with the isolation and everything like that. So we moved from Brooklyn, New York, upstate. And I really, fell out with my family because they was like, you shouldn't go. He already exhibited signs that, he not physically going to continue to, put his hands on you, but he definitely was verbally and mentally and emotionally, abusive, which we know that's worse than the physical side of it. So when we got upstate, things were really good at, initially. And then it was the whole, you can't go here. You can't go do this. Take care of the kids. I'm going to go work and I'm going to be the sole provider and stuff like that. So I let him rock for a little bit like that. And that went well. But then, God do not allow his children to be affected that long before you wake up. Okay. So the lenses was removed. And absolutely, yes, they were removed. And I was able to really see the person that I had falling in love with grow into somebody that I didn't identify with no more. And I didn't even identify with myself. So it was one holiday season, which happens to be Thanksgiving, that I discovered his infidelities and that he was out, doing stuff that he obviously shouldn't have been doing. And at that moment in time, I was like, I just need to leave and go to my family and just spend time with them, to only learn that he locked us out of the house in the dead of winter and came back, and he really was not trying to let me in. So once the authorities got involved, it was like, you got to make a choice. You're going to really sit in this and understand that your worth and your children seeing this, they're young at the time, but it's still impressionable. Yeah. Like, you don't want to live the rest of your life like this, walking on eggshells and letting somebody have the primary control of your finances and your life and all that stuff like that. So in that moment, I just chose me and mine and was like, I'm not looking back no more, and went to court, got everything situated. It took forever to get a divorce, but when we did, I was like, I'm taking my power back, and I am not ever looking back, and I'm going to be from now on.
Amen. Now, the many talents that you do have, Miss Brooklyn Shea.
Ma'am.
Would you grace us with a poem or a monologue today?
I can, absolutely. Let's see. This one definitely got me through some of the period of time that was really turbulent. So it's called I Met Somebody. I met somebody today. I said, I met somebody today that told me about that truth. Yeah. Told me about that truth, the truth about life. Told me about how you can love somebody even if they're your enemy. Told me about how you can stand on your own 2 feet as long as you got the truth behind you. He told me about that truth. He told me about that life. He told me about the glory that would enter my life. I said, I met somebody yesterday who was the most beautiful being I had ever seen. I met somebody yesterday who was all about the image of me. I met somebody yesterday who was a truth and a life. I met somebody yesterday that touched my life. I met somebody yesterday who told me I was so much more than what I saw. I met somebody yesterday that literally opened the door. I met somebody yesterday who is a truth and a light. I met somebody yesterday who is now my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Hey, girl, listen.
All right. Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Now, would you like to grace these people with any words of encouragement if they're either going through something or if they're dealing with some things?
Can I have
Absolutely.
Huh? You said, can you have that
poem in my magazine?
Oh,
absolutely. Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes. Hello. Let's go. Yes. I'll send it email. Yeah. Okay. I will send it to you. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, absolutely. Okay. I'll send it to you. Sis, just send me her information, the email.
I'm about to post it for you.
Oh, she said she's gonna post it.
Okay. All right. So, words of encouragement for anybody that's currently going through this stuff. The best thing that I can say is that you are the only person that can choose you. And only you know when it's time to walk away. Like I stayed longer than I should. And it wasn't until I was faced with looking at my children that in the dead of winter, where I decided that I would not no longer tolerate somebody belittling me, somebody making me feel less than, somebody controlling every aspect of what he thought was my life. So when you are ready, you find somebody that you can confide in, that is not somebody that's going to judge you, somebody that will listen with an open heart. And if you don't have somebody, you talk to whatever power, whatever being you speak to, and you pray wholeheartedly, because I'm telling you, prayer was the only thing that truly got me through it.
Yes.
And it was my source of my power, and it was me taking my power back. So when you realize that you deserve more, you want more, and that you have a purpose here that's bigger than yourself, then you will choose you always. And that has always radiated with me 110%. And I have not looked back. And anybody that show a case of anything similar, okay, I'm like, okay, proceed to the left and we will move on. All right. And I'm okay with that. Yes, because intuition is everything. And trust your intuition. All right. That is definitely the takeaway. To always trust your intuition that you have the power to walk away.
Amen.
Sis, you know I love you. I appreciate you, and I always are. You know I look up to you. That's my big sister right there.
Likewise.
I know you gotta go to work, so I am happy that you blessed this platform with us today and gave us your precious time, because I know it's short, because I know you're a busy woman.
Listen, I appreciate you so much, and I'm so proud of you and you walking in your truth and in your power. And you already know I got your back 110%. And in life, I feel that women, you already know we don't do this often enough in order to acknowledge another sister's success and what they're doing. Don't you turn back, no matter what comes your way, because you are destined for greatness. And I truly believe that everything that's meant for you is coming. Okay. So believe that. All right. Yeah. Wholeheartedly. And thank y'all so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
You.
Okay. Have a blessed one.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
I love you.
Love you too. Later.
Later. Hey.
JC, huh? JC's on. You want me to bring him up?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
All right. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right. I see y'all doing that thing. I'm loving this.
I need to see y'all.
Can you see us better? This is better.
Yes.
Hold on, wait a minute. My face was too big. You said my face was too big, Angela? Huh?
No, I need to see y'all.
We just wanted to see everything.
I couldn't see y'all.
How y'all ladies?
We good.
All right, how are you?
All right. I've been listening in. Hey, y'all getting it in. I'm loving this.
Listen, we gotta come in and how you say, educate, empower,
and encourage.
Right. That's what we here for.
I'm loving it.
Amen.
So talk to me. What's going on?
So, Mr. JC, tell me about you and what you do, Mr. JC. Tell me about you.
Gorilla mode, baby.
Gorilla mode. Let's go.
Man, I'm just an author with a lot to say. I'm a fictional author. I have a live stream podcast where I interview other authors on Monday evenings at 7. I also have another live stream I do on Wednesdays at 8 with two other brothers, where we talk about stuff involving life, relationships, and sex. And I do like graphics on the side. I'm a father of 2, single. And right now I'm just in the mode of trying to better myself, make moves and get it in. That, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
Definitely, that's how it is. Survival of the fittest, they call it, right? So, my next question to you. Now, have you ever experienced any domestic violence at all in your life?
Not personally. I have in college. I've had I knew a friend girl of mine that was going through something with her girlfriend. That was about basically the biggest thing I went through personally. And as of recent, as y'all know, I was introduced to a situation where it was bigger than me. So I had to bring on the big dogs to handle that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking that worked out well for her. So nothing personal, but I see it all the time. Like, well, on the news, the girl in college, he ended up, sadly to say, ended her life. Yeah, and we was nice, and so that was about the biggest thing I've came across to as far as domestic violence. You know, I've learned that, you know, you can always, you know, as an outside person looking into the situation, trying to tell a person what to do, it don't always work. You know what I'm saying? Because for one reason or another, either they're scared or they don't want to move on. They still want to try to work it out. And I've never been on that side. I've never been in that type of situation either way. So, but I see it every day. And that college situation was probably enough for me.
Now, question: how did it affect you knowing that you knew somebody that went through it and they actually got killed through it? Like, how did it affect you having that happen?
You know, for a few days, my mental state was violent because I wanted that guy. For those few days, and he was. I think that he's supposed to have been part of the football team, but he never made the team when he came out, whatever, but he was always hanging around. I was angry because nothing that I could say, I couldn't force her to do it, at the time, you know, I didn't have the mindset of maybe, you know, this is my friend and they may hate me for it, but maybe I need to go and talk to somebody else about it. And maybe, you know, me and her probably would have fell out, but she probably could have still been alive today.
Definitely understand that. Now, if you had to give someone the word of wisdom or encouraging words, what would you say to them?
First, go somewhere safe. Get somewhere safe. Make sure if kids are involved, please make sure your kids are safe. If your kids bring something to your attention about someone, whether it's in school, someone living in the house, listen to them. Because, you know, I can't imagine being in a situation. It's almost like, I guess, worse than slavery, where you stuck in a situation you can't get out of and nobody's listening. Definitely get somewhere safe. Seek help. Go to somebody that whether it's authority figure, a family member that you can trust, and let them know what's going on, because you may need someone to help you stay safe. And you know, there are programs, I'm sure, and places to go for help and for safety.
Definitely. So my other question to you is, all right, I know you have a book. You and Untamed just did a book, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about that book.
The first book, The Contract.
Okay.
It's a small novelette. You can find on Amazon, my website, as well as on the on my handles on Facebook and Twitter. It's just basically an action book about a contract killer and his old lady doing the thing. We did a second book called The Contract 2.
Okay.
It's a little thicker. It went a little further than we intended, but it worked out. It's doing very well, and as far as reviews and sales and stuff. And I'm currently working on a collab for book 3. With I'm kind of like putting two worlds together from a research I've done with this one, and I also have this book called As Long as You Both Shall Live. Also deals with kind of like a domestic situation, and as you can see by the cover, but all my books is fiction, and I just love to write.
Okay. Now, if you had any entrepreneurs or any new writers out there looking to get into writing, what would be one thing that you would tell them?
Wow.
Any advice would you give them?
Man, the first advice I give a person is write the first word. Write the first word and go seek out authors who don't mind sharing and helping you, because as you know, when I first started out, I had a few authors. If it wasn't for them, I'd have been lost. But then some authors you reach out to is like, you're not going to get much out of them. I did not know if it was because they were seeing me as up and coming competition, which I was an aspiring author. But shout out to Quan Foyer, he was there for me. Eric E. Gray, all the New York guys. So they was there for me, man, and I appreciate it. Write your first word. Just know that even when you write your book, well, first of all, you got to put time aside to write the book, because the book ain't gonna write itself. And once you write the book, that it don't stop there. You got to get your editor. You got to get you a publisher if you want, or go self-publish, and you got to go push the book. Just like the book won't write itself, it ain't gonna sell itself. You have to push your book like it's dope.
Yes. Gotta push it like how Jordan pushes his Jordans, right?
Exactly. You gotta act like that's the best thing on the street.
Listen, yes.
And definitely, and as I say to everybody, make sure you put your money in the editor or with somebody you can trust. The editor part is very important. Yeah.
Now, can you give us all your platforms where they may find your book, where they may contact you? And we also want you to put it below too, so people can find you.
It won't let me write.
So
put it in the private chat.
I'm about to say, put it in the private chat. We'll send it over.
Okay.
But, just give us all.
Yeah, you can reach me on IG and Twitter at JC Storyteller. I have a website. You can reach me at www.jctheauthor.net. And you can also find me on Facebook on JC. Just put in, www.facebook.com/JC the Author, and it'll pop me up. And you can find me there. I'm also on Amazon, on Goodreads.
Okay. Mr. JC, I appreciate you for gracing Angela's platform.
Thank you. And I don't know why people don't like to share. I don't know why people don't like to share. It's too many people out here. It's too many people out here that need that people. I don't understand people. We supposed to be here to educate, empower, and encourage each other. Okay. That's what it's all about. What life mean to you? Tell me what life mean to you.
Oh, to me?
Yeah, life. L-I-F-E. That four-letter word that's been around 4.8 billion years. What that mean to you?
Life to me is to love life, love God, love my people, support my people, and live it to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? That's what life means to me. And I ain't here to hurt nobody. I'm here to help people.
Amen.
That's love, inspiration, the fear of God, and the E3 experience.
Exactly. I love everybody, even 45. I ain't even gonna lie. I love everybody except 45. I don't even want to tell no tale. But yeah, later, I really appreciate y'all. This is my first time on this side.
Yeah, how does it feel?
Oh man, hot seat. But it was all good, man. Thank y'all so very much. I see my man Dom in the building. Huh?
You have to come back and visit some of my other platforms. I have 2 video shows.
I'm ready to. Hey,
I got a magazine.
You got a magazine?
Mm-hmm. She sure do.
Yeah.
I got a magazine too.
You got. Wait a minute. Oh, y'all getting it in.
I write for a magazine called Blessings.
I think you told me that.
I
Yeah.
do.
Hey, Angela, you gonna,
And Angela has a magazine.
Angela, we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, you want
Look here.
connection.
I love to empower, educate, empower, and encourage. I'm you know what they call me, the queen of collaboration.
Oh, I love that. Hey, and I want to learn. I love collaborating. I'm down with it.
That's all I do. I got 16 books. This is number 16 right here. Collaboration.
Wow.
19 other people are part of this book.
I gotta get you on my show.
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
Too.
Hey, just like you say, see how people keep people to themselves? They don't like to share.
No. I shared. She's been on your platform. You're on hers. I shared.
Yeah. Okay. I let you slide on that one.
Shared.
Oh yeah, she shared. No doubt about that. She shared.
That's what it is. Thank y'all so much, man.
Wake me up, share. I don't mind. I love her.
Yeah.
That's my sister from another mother.
Even though I can't pronounce her last name for nothing, but
and I know I be chopping it up.
It's so I love y'all though. Y'all my family. It's so big. All right. Listen.
Arthur Shea in the building. Yeah.
Yes.
Love y'all. Appreciate it,
And
ladies.
look, my book too is coming in November, so I'll be back over there on your side.
I'm trying to. Where you located at, JC?
Augusta,
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
James Brown country.
Oh, I'm in Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you 2 hours away.
I just moved from Atlanta.
See, boom.
Hey, look here. Okay, we're gonna do some. Look here. All right, then.
See?
He ain't said nothing.
Just moved from Atlanta. I'm down here trying to set up some stuff down here. I don't know these people down here.
How's Myrtle Beach?
I don't know yet. I ain't really. I know how my room looks. I know how my room is. That's where I've been at. I don't go nowhere.
I went to Myrtle Beach one time, and I loved the beach was cool, but my reason for going, I wish I could take it back. That's all I'm saying.
See, I like Myrtle Beach. When I was in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach was like an occasional thing we did every time in the summer. It was like a school trip.
Man, Myrtle Beach is the capital of the panhandles. Man, every time I pass a corner, somebody trying to sell something, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, get these tickets.
You go on one street, they charge you $15 for one thing, then you can go right on the street on the other street, and it's $5.
Exactly. But I enjoyed Myrtle Beach, man.
I said, do y'all have a price for the people that live here? I said, because we're not tourists. I said, do y'all have a price for the people that I said, do we need to show? Look, do we need to show our ID to show that we're a resident?
Wow.
That's Myrtle Beach for you.
I had to go. Look, that's back on the bucket list for me to go back to Myrtle Beach, as well as I've never been to Charleston.
You never been to Charleston? Yeah, you gotta get that on your list.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah,
that's
y'all go on there.
All I need is 2 week notice. Huh?
I want to come to New York.
You want to come to New York?
I've been in New York once, and I was going.
But now I'm not in.
I got family up there, but
I'm not in New York. I'm not in the city. I'm in upstate New York. I'm 2.5.
That's where they at.
Oh,
they're an hour from the city. How far are you from the city?
I'm 2.5 hours from the city.
They say they're an hour out of the city.
Yeah, I'm like 2.5 out the city. I'm next to Albany, which is the capital.
Well, hell,
where they from? I
Look,
think that's where's Albany at? I want to think that's where my uncle say. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't never been up there. They always come down here.
I've been through Manhattan on the Greyhound going to Newark, and I've been to Rochester. They had a arena team there. We flew.
That's by where I stay. Rochester's 2 hours up from me.
Oh, well, 2 hours. That's short distance. You cause 2 hours is like from here to Atlanta.
That's it's like, driving.
Okay.
Listen, I drive to South Carolina, so that 2 hours is short. And driving to South Carolina is a long way. So
if you stayed in Atlanta, you gonna do it. Because you're gonna be an hour one way and an hour back.
I've heard.
I don't care if you ain't going nowhere but 30. If it ain't but 30 minutes from your house, it sometimes take you 2 hours to get to work.
Hey, I'm gonna say, look, I went there one time about 2 years ago. I decided I was gonna treat myself and go to the aquarium because it was on my bucket list. And I guess the time was bad because I think, if I ain't mistaken, I was leaving about around 3:30, and I had to end up getting on. I think it was 75 or 85. It was one of them. I can't remember to get to 20 to come back home. Man, that was the worst rush hour ever. And I said from that point, I don't think I can live in Atlanta.
Right there, Grady Curve. You coming from you said you was at the aquarium.
Yeah, and
you was going back to Augusta. So you was right there in the Grady Curve. They catch that every day. Every day. Going and coming.
And the bad part, it's a turn that turn and the turn has 2 lanes. And I was trying to follow my GPS, but I went in the right lane, and I'm like, oh God. So I had to hit that, had to vamp around or have it.
Honey, the people in Atlanta, they would have been all the way in the lane over by the wall, and they would have jumped all the way over and got off.
I was seeing that. Yeah, because it's a bridge. You go across the bridge, and then you turn left, and then you're supposed to. See, I wasn't used to all that. Yeah, I can't.
It's no got worse now because they got a whole bunch of. They don't change a lot to one-way streets now.
Oh.
It's rough, and then now with that new stadium, they don't wiped out 2 whole blocks.
I stay home.
It look totally different down there because I played ball at Morris Brown. So
basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on now. Come on now.
You go.
I'm 5'11" and a half. Come on now. I'm almost 6 foot tall.
So when I come to Myrtle Beach, we gonna hoop.
Yeah.
I can't say I can hoop no more now. You know I got a disability now.
Well, I could call it.
I used to play basketball too, but I wish I got them helmets now.
Hey,
I got them.
We can head up north and play on the chain baskets. Huh? Cardi, I know this.
Well, we definitely gonna have to stay connected. I thank you for stopping by and sharing with us.
Anytime, I appreciate you.
I truly do. I thank you for stopping by.
And I wish y'all the best. Let's get up. Let's connect.
Definitely.
Much
so you
love.
have Desiree on.
Oh, is she back here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I know she had texted me and told me she couldn't log on. So yes.
Okay.
Thank you. You put all your information in the thing.
In the private chat.
You can put it in the private chat and I'll post it. So people can see it.
I'll put it in now.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
It's spinning. Is she there?
Yeah, she's here.
I can't see her. But I guess my thing is acting up again. Why I can't see
you? Can you hear me?
Let me log out. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yep, I bet.
Normally it's me.
Yep, I'll be back.
Normally it's me. It always kick me out and make me log back in. She'll be right back. It don't take a second. The enemy just mad. He been acting up all day. They just don't want us to be great. I guess I'm gonna post this for him. So how are you today?
I'm okay. How are
You doing
you?
okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been up all day. I've been up since 12:01 a.m.
I've been
live
working since
on
5:30.
Facebook, sharing, because I want people to be healed and delivered.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm back. I'm back. You know how my bed want to be acting up. Hi, honey. How are
Hey, how are
you?
you?
How are we doing today, love bug?
I'm good. Just work.
So, thank you for gracing us with your beautiful presence. So, can you tell us who you are and what you do, and tell me about that beautiful book you wrote?
She left.
Yeah, no, it's just me and you right now. She ain't gone. She just in
Oh,
the back. She
oh,
here. She just in the back.
oh, okay. Hi everybody. My name is Desiree Fillmore. I'm an Akron, Ohio native, and I'm also an author. I'm a self-publishing author, and I wrote my story called "Frozen in the Midst of Fire." It's a memoir, and it's an unbreakable memoir of an unbreakable sister's bond. That's the subtitle to my story.
So, what made you write that book?
We I'm a mother of two daughters, Jada and Chimera, um, and we had a house fire, and I lost both my daughters. Um, I just wanted to write the book to share with people, to let them know it's okay to grieve, but it's also okay. It's also very important to keep continuing to push because it's very important.
Definitely. Now, have you ever experienced domestic violence?
Yes, I have.
Could you?
I've
I was gonna say, could you tell me a little bit about it and how you survived it?
Yes, I've always been the person to have long-term relationships. I don't really like getting in relationship, getting out, getting in and out. Um, I've been in situations where I've had um, a boyfriend for a very long time, and normally it's like if he's doing something that he's really not supposed to do, like if you catch him cheating, then he gets mad and wants to punch you or punch on you, and just the fighting and the verbal abuse, like cussing, um, but also the physical abuse as well, like being hit on by them. Um, I've experienced it. Um, my city has also experienced a really bad tragedy happen where there was a young woman that lived in an apartment with her boyfriend, and he ended up he was I guess he to come to find out he has been verbally abusing her and physically abusing her for years, and
Mm,
she's never really told anyone about it. And he ended up beating her up, and she had a balcony. She was on the third floor of her apartment building, and it's kind of like a Tyler Perry movie when he kind of like threw the kids over the balcony.
mhm,
Well, that was like her case. Um, she was probably in her late 20s, maybe early 30s when this
mm,
happened. This happened about 3 years ago. Maybe, no, not 3 years ago. Sorry. It happened about 4 years ago. But she had a young daughter and son, and he was fighting her and ended up shooting her on the balcony and killing her.
wow.
So I've experienced, like, actually, I haven't experienced the gun violence
Mhm.
personally, but I have experienced the physical abuse and the verbal abuse.
So, after experiencing that, how did it kind of change your mode on how you pick the people that you dated or deal with?
I have dealt also, like you said, a couple days ago when I heard you talking. I watched your your interview. Um, I have also experienced I'm sorry, isn't baby to be okay. I didn't mean to, um, let me give you a hug or, I'm sorry, just let me come back. Let me, I won't do it no more. I've experienced that.
Mhm.
So like me going to like someone else, or like going to another, sorry, me going to another, person, I really didn't, because it was my child's father that I
Mhm.
was with before when this was happening.
Okay.
Um, and this was like when I was a teenager, so that happened
Mhm.
then. But I guess I stayed, and I stayed like most women did, until it got, of course, bad to where it was like, all right, I gotta go. But I stayed because of my daughter, and I wanted her, be have a family like I had a
Mhm.
family when I grew up, and most women do that and they stay for their children. But it's very important to not stay um, during things like that because you never know, especially now, like you never know. And I was a teenager then.
Mhm.
I've also experienced it in my early 20s. Um, but I just left the person alone when I was in my early 20s because I was more wiser.
Mhm.
And I've seen people get killed from it. And I've seen girls become homeless or rely on men. I was always a child, like, I was always a girl that was told by her dad and her mom, like, don't ever fall for that kind of stuff. Like, be wary. I was always just told by my older parents like
Mhm.
not to engage in that kind of thing because it's very important. Domestic violence is real. It does happen, and it happens a lot. And a lot of people think because they're in a relationship, and he says he loves you or she says she loves you or whatever, it's not okay to
Mhm.
degrade you or make you feel down. If you're feeling like that in a relationship, talk about it. But then again, if you're scared to talk about it, or if you do talk about it and then um, if you get like, mm, I'm trying to use the word, but the right word. But I guess if you talk about it and then you get beat on because you said, "Hey, I'm not comfortable. Like I want to just leave things alone," then like you said, I think I heard you say in one of your interviews, like it's okay when you first get into that relationship and then you see it happening. That's like a red flag, and that's a sign of this. Walk away then. Don't wait until you're years in because then it's harder because now you have feelings, and
Mhm.
now everything is into like your feelings are included. So just don't wait. And if you do experience that kind of domestic violence or abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, whatever kind of abuse that you're experiencing, because it could be just degrading. He could just be yelling at you and you just don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable. Yeah, like it's very important to like tell somebody or reach out to somebody for help because that's very important.
Yeah, because the verbal abuse lasts a lot longer than the physical. You can heal
Yeah.
from physical, but that verbal abuse it stays with you for a minute, and it's like it's definitely something that you have to work through, and it's a process working through it after dealing with it. So, question for you: if you had to leave a statement of empowerment to anybody that's going through it, what would you say?
Um, I would say it's okay to feel how you're feeling. Um, but don't stay down. Don't I always say like don't stay down and don't keep being depressed because that's doing nothing but hindering your own personal health. It's important to like to keep your mental and your physical health positive at all times. If you have to, reach out to a support group. If you don't have a support group, there's tons of Facebook groups, there's tons of YouTube videos that you can watch that do have encouragement, where you can listen to it, you can watch it, and maybe like it's late at night and he's sleeping, and maybe you're just up and you can't sleep. Like watch one of those TED Talks because TED Talks are really good and they have them for almost any topic. Also, if you have a person that you're really close to, reach out and tell them. Yeah, reach out and tell them, like, hey, this is happening to me. And if something does happen to me, this is who did it. Or,
Yeah,
if you have to leave a note somewhere, hide it in your house if you have to, if you're going through that kind of thing. But also, always reach out to somebody because that's, very important.
definitely. So back to this amazing book that you wrote, right? So what are some of the ways that you took on promoting this book, and when did you publish this book?
I published my book in January this year, January 2020.
So what are some of the marketing tools that you did to get your book out there, and the steps you're taking to guide yourself through this COVID with your book?
That's a good question because when I released my book, I was super excited. A lot of people in my city of Akron, Ohio, know my story and has been very supportive throughout my entire journey of grieving and bereavement of my two daughters. So I had book signing in February this year, and then COVID came, and I had so many things lined up. I had a book tour that I wanted to do this summer. I had 3 book signings already lined up and everything. And of course, I could not do them because of COVID.
Mhm.
So I reached out to a couple of my friends, which I met through during my first interview. And Um, and I asked them like, "Hey, how are you promoting your book? How are you getting people to, read them or want people to still read your book? Or how are you promoting it? Because we cannot really just go out there and just, hey, like, come to my book signing, and then because it's like a limit of
Yeah.
like mostly where you go. So I just reached out and I joined different um, author tube or author which is on YouTube, and also author pages on Facebook, and then just kind of made posts and see where that took me. And it took me a lot of places.
Mhm.
I have a ton of interviews coming up, and it's very exciting.
Yay. So now, question. I know grieving is a very hard thing to deal with sometimes. What was your strength and your empowerment through the grieving processes of losing your kids? What got you through?
What got me through, honestly, I'm a very spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself a Baptist Christian. Um, but what got me through was God, for sure. Of course, there's times when I'm angry and I'm like, hey, like, why'd you do that? And I
Mm-hmm.
try to follow everything that you said. Like, I studied the Bible to learn about you more by myself. I didn't want just my pastor to tell me, hey,
Mm-hmm.
just go read this. Like, no, I wanted to know for myself. So what got me through was definitely God, and also my girls because I feel them still. I sometimes I can hear them laughing. I can hear them talking to me, and that's like very comforting to me. Most people would be scared or afraid, but when it's someone very, very close to you and you're used to them being around you all the time, thank you. Um, um, it's very to me, it's just very comforting. I've been shown signs, also, which helped me throughout my day when I'm feeling really down. Today I had like a very kind of not so good, like I had an okay day, I
Mm-hmm.
guess I would call it. I was okay. I wasn't like too sad or nothing today, but today I'm starting to get those feelings because the date's coming up. So
Gotcha.
I'm starting to feel I think about it all the time,
Yeah.
constantly, because I know it's coming, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm dreading it. So I get signs where it's to like they come to me in dreams and they talk to me. I've always told them, even like after they passed, I always would go to the cemetery, or I would just say out loud, like, "Hey, y'all stay together. Y'all make sure I told y'all to stay together and make sure y'all still watch over me." And when they come to me in a dream together, or if I change my hairstyle, I'll feel their hands go across my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like that comforts me because I know that they're here. So that's kind of got me through got me through. Not completely, but it's helping me get through.
And I'm definitely blessed that it is helping you. And I'm blessed that you're here to teach us with all that beauty that God has given you the strength for.
Thank
Um,
you.
You okay,
Shana,
Angela?
I tell you, no, I God do some strange stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even call it strange no more.
I
Because
know
let me
she
tell you
do.
something. I can relate to what you're going through, baby. They were my kids, but they were like my kids. My business partner, the first year we started our program, her daughter had just graduated from high school and they was doing a celebration. And she allowed all 5 of her kids to stay at her sister's house. It was her 5 kids. Her sister had 3. Her other sister had 2 that was there. Remind you, she just lost her son the year before. Somebody had shot him the year before. She just graduated, the little girl just graduated from high school. So they left the high school was there with all of the kids or whatever, but they wasn't babies.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them babies burnt up in that house that day. I'll never forget that. The little boy, he came out, he got out, and he realized his cousin was still in the house. So he went back.
Mm-hmm.
And when she began to talk, all I could see was that little boy's face. Because I'll never forget that call. When I got that call, I'll never forget that call. It changed my life. Yeah, I don't have any kids. And I can't have kids. I thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. I'm like pulling
I
back.
used to wonder
I'm
why I
really,
was on this journey. I wonder why I had to endure all the things that I endured. But I see now. I see now.
oh my gosh. I
It,
said I wasn't gonna do this.
it's okay though. Like we know, but you're strong, and they're there with you. Just like you're now making your own publishing company because of them. They right there with you, and they're proud of you. They proud of you. They see you, they watching you, and they right there.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing your story with us, honey.
I do. Because you just
Thank
don't know. You just, baby, it touched me right here. And I need to connect with you. I do.
I would love that.
And you was
uh,
just saying how you needed to reach out to her earlier in the chat. See, boom.
yeah. Um. Well, just like to reiterate a little bit. Um, my daughters were 12 and 5 when it happened, and this year will be the 3-year anniversary of them being in heaven. Uh, my oldest daughter with special needs, she had Creutzfeldt syndrome, and everybody used to say like, hey, like you're gonna know the purpose. Like, you don't know now, but you will find out what their purpose was. And I used to be like, well, I don't know. And now I do know. I know exactly what their purposes was. I know for sure my oldest daughter's purpose, Jada, her purpose was to teach people how to love people with special needs. Because my daughter was a lover, she was a hugger. Um, she loved everybody that came in the room. She didn't care if she knew you or not. She was gonna run up to you and hug you. And most of the time, she would say, "I remember you." So like right now, if you guys were in person and she was here, she would run up to you and probably clinks her leg around you and just say, "I remember you," and she would hug you. Or if you're crying like you are now, she would come up to you with a tissue and she'd say, "You okay?" So she would do stuff like that. My youngest daughter, for her to be 5, I'm sure she was here. I always used to say, like, you've been here before.
Yeah.
My daughter was a giver. She was a very good giver. She also loved everybody. It was her first year of kindergarten. She didn't even make it a month in kindergarten yet. My baby was the day before the fire. She got an award for being kind. She got a Student of the Month award for being kind, and she wasn't even in school a month yet. Like for 4-year-olds, my daughter was also the youngest daughter, Chimera. She was also not just a giver, but she was an overseer. She was just like me, very protective over Jada, and she was an overseer. And she made sure my daughter could scan a room and make sure that room was okay for Jada to be in, and whoever was in there, if they had a bad spirit, she would go up to people and she would say, you probably shouldn't be in here. Or she would tell Jada, come on, Jada, let's go play. And then go in the other room, something like that. I don't know. They just had that sixth sense. But that's also when ladies are mothers or even fathers, because some men go through domestic violence too. Not just women, but anybody. It's important if you have young children, like, just leave. Like, you don't have to stay for the kids. You can always, you can always make arrangements for them to see them, or I mean, and if it's that bad, they don't have to see them. They can get the kids to get a certain age, and then they can see them. But you don't have to see them, and it's okay to feel scared. But remember, reach out to somebody, because if you have little kids, that's going to affect them, affect how they act. It's going to affect everything, because my daughters did have that sixth sense, and they knew like something ain't right here. Like, well, no, we don't want to be in here. We would go trick or treating all the time, and I always loved trick or treating, so I would take them. And of course, in certain houses, they'd be like, "Oh no, we go to the next house," and they didn't have to have nothing scary in the house. It was just, no, something not right with that house. We going to the next one. So I mean, like, as a mother, I would say moms know how their kids are. Um, and if you see your kids act funny, especially little girls, if you see them act funny around certain men that you're with, like, take a look at that, because that's a really big red flag.
It's a sign.
Yes, it's a very big sign. And most little girls, if something happens to them, like through rape or being sexually abused or something, most of the time it happens because the little girl is scared to tell you because, oh, my mommy loves him. But it's okay. Like, make sure that your kids know. It If something happens, you don't let nobody touch you down there or touch any of your privates. Like, everything. I used to tell my girls that all the time. And for my oldest daughter to grow and not be as severe as she was because of Chimera, I just know their purpose. That's why I said I knew that my daughter loved everybody. Well, both of them really. But Jada was really a lover, and Kai was definitely a giver. Um, so I know her purpose was definitely to come here and help Jada. They're 7 years apart, and I'm a numbers person. I'm also a school teacher. So 7 is the number of God, and that's the number of completion. So when I think about it, like, wow, they're 7 years apart. My daughter was the lucky charm of the family, my youngest daughter. She was a St. Patty's Day baby. So her birthday is on St. Patty's Day. She was the third and last baby born that day. And also, everything that she learned how to do, Jada was learning how to do it. So when she learned how to get potty trained, my oldest was learning how to get potty trained. When she learned how to write and read her little sight words, Jada started learning how to write and read her sight words. Everything was flowing because it was God's number. God was with them, and it's the number of completion. So I always feel like, wow, that's definitely a purpose. Um, in my book, I talk about, of course, the numbers, and I give people lottery numbers in my book because my daughter's birthday, my youngest daughter, St. Patty's Day, her birthday has Jada's and hers in it. And it's so weird, but it's, to me, it's confirmation, because I always say, why did you take both of them? Why did you do that? And their time was up. It was, they did what they were supposed to do here on earth. And I, of course, I want them to be with me, but I'd rather them, be happy and waiting for me in heaven. So that's pretty cool. Jada's birthday was July 12th. And Chimera's was March 17th. So 3/17/12, which is amazing. So Kai's birthday is 3/17. Jada's is 7/12. So Chimera was born in 2012. So it's so crazy, but 3/17/12. That is the number of the day because it has both my girls' dates in it. So little tiny things like that, it gives me strength and it keeps me going, and it just makes me push because I'm trying to get to where they are. I know exactly where they are. If I have a question, it's weird, but as a teacher, little kids that come up to you and just say random stuff. I've always had a question about, why my fire started. And to be honest, my fire started it was electrical fire. One of the cords inside the wall in our living room had overheated, and it's probably been happening for a while because we had a little bit of electrical problems. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Our landlord did not fix it when he was supposed to. But I've been shown multiple signs that they're fine. My daughter Jada was in school. She actually went to a whole nother school, or this year the last year that they were here in 2017. She was a new student in a middle school now. She wasn't even in elementary. And as a substitute teacher, I always went to her class, and going to her class made me feel, it was like bittersweet because I wanted my daughter still there, but then I knew she wouldn't be there anyway because she would have been in the middle school and not the elementary. But one of her friends actually asked for the whiteboard, and it was pretty cool. It's a picture in my book, but he asked for the whiteboard and he drew a picture. We weren't sure what he was doing, and he drew a picture of two little girls flying over top of a house that was on fire. And he drew a picture of me hanging in the window during the fire. And I was like, whoa, like all the teachers were like, what are you doing? What are you drawing? And he's like, oh, I'm drawing Kai and Jada. And I was like, whoa, who is that? And he said, well, that's you. You're in the window. I'm like, how did you know that? And he said, the girls just told me to draw it and show it to you. So he told me that they were flying angels. And I'm like, well, who told you? Kai and Jada told me to tell you. He was getting frustrated because he's special like Jada, but he's very, very mild. Like, he's not as severe. And he was getting frustrated. He's like, stop asking me.
Okay, I
like,
told you one time. You heard,
I know.
like you didn't hear me. That's what he was saying. Like you didn't hear me.
I'm telling you, you're not listening.
He's like, I told you. You acting like you don't believe me. Did you not hear me? That's
Yeah,
what he was saying.
he was serious. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no. He's like, and I'm like, come on. I'm like, all right, come on now. And he's like, no, I see them. They're right there. He's like, you don't see them? And I'm like, no. And he's like, all right, you will. They about to turn the computer off. And of course, right when he said it, the computer shut off. And I was like, all right, turn that computer back on, y'all. Stop y'all scaring me.
And guess what I
But
majored in school?
what?
Therapeutic recreation. I work with people with disabilities.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I do too. I still do now. I always said as a child, when I was younger, I would never really work as like a home health aide, or I always said that kind of thing. And now that my daughter is not here, that kind of thing just gives me like, I don't know. It helps me. Like it's kind of like therapeutic for me. And now I don't work in the houses as much anymore, but I'm a district manager for our company. So, I mean, it's great because I get to still be that mother figure to them, even the little kids in the school. Most of the kids in school uh, they don't have like a parents or even some of them don't even have grandparents, or most of them are at home by themselves because their parents are gone, and most of them also go through abuse, um, all different kinds. So like it's crazy, but um, I don't know. Like I feel like domestic violence is definitely real for sure. Um, Thank you, I appreciate it. Um, Thank you. Um, yeah, domestic. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm reading the
No,
comments.
you're fine.
You okay,
You're
baby?
fine. They for you.
um, Domestic violence for sure is. I love the fact that domestic violence is celebrated this month because it's something that people need to be aware about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so many people kind of just disregard it, but it's something that you really should not disregard. Most people in their lifetime have experienced it, especially during relationships, because of jealousy um, or whatever the case is. People being insecure, all kind of stuff. I mean, just like reading your book, Sheena, um, your book shares so much that women think like, why would thought you said you loved me? I mean, you said you would never hurt me, and then you do this to me, and then you want me to be quiet about it, and then you want me to be silenced. No, like domestic violence is so real, and it's really detrimental to the like human body and like your soul, because as Sheena's book says, your mask. Even your story, Angela. I watched your interview with the Talk Truth series. I watched that yesterday, and your story is amazing too. Both of you women are very strong. I see that I see your strength. Um, I was watching it and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I mean, it's the truth. Like going through things, it's hard. But I mean, you got to keep pushing. I always, as one of my interviews was the other day, I'm determined to live. Um, I'm always determined to succeed. I've always been a person to say, yeah, I had a daughter at 16, and yeah, she's special needs, and yeah, it's hard, and yeah, she got to go to all these therapies, and I have to still be in school, and I still got to learn how to be an adult and grow up. Like, it's hard, but I mean, you got to keep pushing. But, like, I don't know. I mean, I would just say, like, lean towards God. Um,
That's it.
Find a hobby to do. If you got to be by yourself, write it down.
That's it.
If you don't have pen and paper, write it in your phone.
That's it.
Something. If you have to just draw and scribble and doodle all over the paper, just do it. If that's what makes you feel good, do it. I know someone that has been through domestic violence a lot, and she doesn't even engage in a relationship. She just doesn't want one anymore. her outlet is to plan. She's a planner. She loves to decorate her planner like I do. And she also just draws all over and then she paints pictures. That's just what she does. Her pictures might not make sense. It might look like a Picasso drew it, but that's what gives her the strength to keep going. She just, if she feel bad, all right, I gotta go home. I gotta do something. So like
That's what it is.
encouragement is really strong. Yeah,
It
and
takes strength.
also, yes, courage for sure. Um, I was watching an interview the other day, and it really touched me. And it was a young woman I was going through domestic violence right now, and just to see how long she's been enduring this pain is
The one we
really
was on the panel.
hard. What you
Talk
say?
about the panel that we just did.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's
Angela,
really hard.
we was on JC's page.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely. But
I'm
it's
sorry.
hard. It is.
Yeah.
But I have another guest that's about to come on, honey. So can you please do me a
Oh
gracious favor
yeah.
and just tell everybody where they can find your book at, and then leave it in the comments for us. And I'm sure we will see and hear more of you, because Angela's gonna make sure of that.
um. Well, thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate both of you ladies and your strength, your courage, and also your dedication to this series that you guys are doing. Um, but you guys can find my book on Amazon.com. Also, during or on my website www.DesireeJFillmore.com. That's Fillmore with a PH. Um, and also, it might be available in your local libraries. My books are all over libraries right now. I just found out, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
So my book is available almost anywhere books are sold.
Thank you, honey. Don't forget to put it in the comments. And
Yes, so I can post. So it'll show on the thing so people can see it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I posted my email address earlier, so my email address is on there if you want to email me.
And if not, inbox
Okay.
me. I got it. If you don't see it, I have it. So I got you.
Okay. All
Thank you,
right.
sweetheart.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh.
Your next person is not up yet.
Oh, he not.
Who is it?
His name is Dom.
He's in the he's
I know.
on the what's the name, but he's
I
not
know he's
inside.
on the set. I gotta go to him like Dom. But amazing story.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he go. There he go.
I'm sure.
How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing? I appreciate you for coming through.
Hey, first and foremost, I want to thank both of you queens for allowing me to contribute to this beautiful outlet.
Of
I'm
course.
just honored and pleasure to partake and contribute.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming and being a part.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is important. We can't just talk about what we want to do. Things, opportunities like this is reasons for us to come together and show how we build. And again, I'm gonna show up whatever way y'all need me to.
See, that's what I see, my brother. Thanks. So, Mr. Dom, can you tell everybody like who you are, what you do, and what are you about?
Lovely. First, my name is Curtis Dawn Withers. A first-time author. The book is self-published through my publishing company, Little Villa Publishing. We started out publishing music first. I'm an artist. The most title I wear is Proud Father. My husband, son, teacher, uncle. I embody all those things, and I'm very proud to say I'm an entrepreneur. And one of the reasons why I'm here today is because I published my first memoir and it's based on fatherhood. I felt some of the things I grew up with, the principles, the qualities, the morals. We wasn't having that type of conversation. So with everything that I do, this is one of my goals to offer this body of work right here.
Okay. So what got you into music?
Music. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my mom's, but I pretty much think when she pushed me powerfully out into the world, I think the music was already built and wild. First time I would say was with Curtis Blow. Yeah, I seen that from and what he was contributed, and from there I just started. I actually started writing music at 12, 13 years old. You know, doing the all, you know, crushing the cookies, keeping and I'm proud to say, not do I continue to build my music career, but I teach others, I mentor others through different programs and independent. I showed them how to not give away their power, because we all give away our power. So for me and my business, shout out to my business partner, Smith the Money Kid, part of Office Boys and Why. We like to not just put people in position, we like to teach them why they're in that position and what to do. So outside of this book project, currently getting ready to release another project, an album called Kingdom. And our music, my music, mostly, it's not the bubblegum rap, it's not the beat your lady up rap, call her a bitch, you know, none of that.
Yeah.
We offer a different understanding, and that's kind of where we go with the memoir. The memoir allows me to build with young men and young women and older men and older women on a more direct platform, and that's the principal things we need to speak about.
So with your journey of writing your book, what made you write it? Like, what was your process as far as writing this book?
I'm not going to pull no L. Ron Hubbard like I have a big smoking pipe. I'm smoking, and this is a beautiful. It just flowed. I do have so much respect for the craft of being an author. So let me first say that. And with me saying that, salute to Arlene Bradford. She's one of the first authors that allowed me to work with her and learn the actual business of publishing a book. And after that, again, it was one of my goals. So what I wanted to do was see what I wanted to do first. That was my first process, because this is a real personal work. So some of these things I do share in the memoir. I had to visit myself, things I didn't visit, and in that, it just began to pour because of the beautiful bonds and relationships that I do in my life. And I was like, you know what? I need to get on the board and share this. So it wasn't methodical as other authors was. Salute to Naomi, who helped me edit this. She helped me take the ideas that I was just storming with to where it was an easy read for the people. And I definitely stand by it.
And it's definitely an awesome book. So my other question for you now: have you ever experienced domestic violence or know anybody that have ever dealt with it?
Yeah, I'm a big brother. I have 3 sisters. I'm the oldest, and yeah, my sisters call me animal names. I won't get into those reasons, but unfortunately, I have to ask that for myself. Praises due. I never experienced that, and I'm proud to say I never practiced that. Due to the men and women that was in my life and raised me to understand that that's things that cowards do. So, me myself, another person who that's something I definitely frown upon. And again, salute to the young lady who shared her story, because a lot of you queens, y'all have the courage to be better than the situations. And, you know, praises due to her that she was able to see some things that she needed to and do better in life. But yeah, I definitely frown on and don't look to be or hope to be experiencing anything like that.
Now, if you had to give anybody advice about domestic violence or anybody that you've seen that went through it, what would be some encouraging words or direction you would lead them to?
Well, I'm big on, especially with the women, because now I have a beautiful daughter who's 8 years old. And through my mother, through my sisters, through my aunts, my grandmother, both of them rest in peace. They showed me that when a woman understands her value, there's nothing she was looking for. Love, money, none of that. So when some of these women begin to not just love themselves, but realize their own value, that's what I always like to offer them. No matter how great your man, no matter what he do for you, if you don't love yourself and know your own value, anybody could be valued. So that's one of the main things that I offer anyone, because men don't do it too. But I just have to or help them understand that and is that person worthy of receiving that.
Definitely. Now, Mr. Since you're an artist and you also an author, right? So, are you gracing us with a rap tonight? With some graciously pleasured words tonight? Are we getting some tunes tonight?
Yo, it wouldn't be briefcase of me if I could share this. Y'all want some melodics? If my daughter was here, I would have gave y'all a whole concert. But what I would like to do is y'all could join and go to your favorite streamer. I just dropped this song with my daughter called All of Power.
I actually heard it. That sounds dope.
Yeah. So if I had my microphone, I wanted to cue it, the drop, so I could get it. But all I ask tonight is y'all go support and stream that, and my daughter would be ecstatic because you will hear her do her thing. So yeah,
can you post your link?
I was about to say, make sure you post the link so that everybody can go
stream
it, all that, etc.
Most definitely. I heard you too, Queen. What you said?
Can you post your link?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you post your link?
Well, Angela pops in. She just pops like, ooh.
See her cute. See, y'all gonna give me.
It was all up in the ceiling. I forgot I had that thing. I forgot I had it. Look, I had moved it away. Yeah, I had moved it. I forgot.
Right.
I forgot. Got the stuff cooked up.
Right.
But yeah.
What are some of the goals that you have for your book?
One of the things I want to say humbly, we all do this to feed and create other revenues. But again, I think this goes in part with domestic violence. When some of these young men become more aware of themselves, whether they have guidance from their father, I think they will understand their position as to them being protected and nurtured and playing that role as a man. And that's all I hope to offer with my memoir. So my main goal is to get this in the hands of those who need it. I don't want it to serve as a tutorial book, but I hope through what I share, my experiences and my perspectives, it help a lot of these young men to deal with some of the issues. Because just like they say, women have daddies. Guess what? Some fellas got mommy and daddy issues too. Right. So if again, this memoir, my main goal is to make fatherhood a bigger conversation. And what I mean by that, outside of child support and outside of this brother, he not here and things of that nature, because I'm not the only great father. I got great examples of that, both of my brothers, including our levels as well. So we have to give that light to the brothers, because me wanting to big up fatherhood is not negating motherhood neither. I want the sisters to understand that. Just as y'all are held accountable for being the mothers y'all are, it's time that these fathers do, and not just y'all being accountable, but their brothers, their fathers, their uncles, they peoples. We have to start making this more progressive for our men, which will allow us to be better men to our women, our daughters, and our
family. Question: Can we get an insert from the book? Yeah, I'm going to use it tonight.
Well, if I happen to have one right here, and I would like to start with the introduction if I could, because
that's fine.
If I'm asked what's the most powerful thing when you meet somebody, the first thing they do is greet you, and this is my greeting. A man could live in the ways of any religion, but if there is no direct connection to God and no transition to establishment, there is no obligation of principles, morals, or purpose to nurture, raise, and guide their own lives, let alone another. And the experiences, opinions, stories, and different perspectives I'll share with you all in this memoir, please understand that it took me some time to accept God in my life. Yet, at a young age, it also allowed me to become a better man in so many ways. It also keeps me humble enough to know that with every breath I'm granted, I must strive to be better, not just for myself, but also for the extensions the Lord has allowed me to create in my life. I thank you, Lord, for the human you have created me to be and the human you allowed me to become. Praise is due. And one of the reasons I thought to offer those alphabets and speak and introduce that, because again, we all different colors, different shades, different backgrounds, all have experienced this. And at some point, if we look into our higher self, we will see all the things that God wants us to have is right before us. And especially for us as men, I just want to speak to the higher crown of us. And I hope that introduction is a good way of doing so.
The introduction is dope.
I appreciate it.
And everybody that's out there, you better go get that book. You better read it. Give it to somebody for Christmas,
Yeah, do
Thanksgiving,
that.
birthday, something.
If
All
you
your
want me
love.
to pull up, you know, I can make sandwiches for the kids. I make the snacks.
Listen, all that you willing to pull up. Come on, man.
Yeah, like this is we do the nature of this. And again, I appreciate y'all.
Definitely. So can you just let them know where to find your book, how they find you, and all your different platforms?
Most definitely, because I'm on whatever platform we get to the people. First, before I give any props to giving away the power, I want to say if you would like the memoir or signed copy or whatever, you can go to fatherhood@19.com. And you see it's the numbers and 19 in this app. So fatherhood@19.com. And you could go there. You have a book trailer out that gives you a little bit more insight to the book. We're on Amazon. Probably say that. We just got plugged with BarnesandNobles.com. You know what I mean? We banging in. So I will be diligent with pushing for the shelves. We just got into a couple local bookstores, New York area, coming soon in the New York City area. So we're just gonna keep pushing. And by the way, my artist name is Villa. We far from fast rap. We're about feeding the mind.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you.
Now I think y'all for having me.
Give him my email.
I got you. I got you. I will. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Just
told you
give him my email.
I told you I was coming with the powerhouse. I was just listen, I'm telling you. Listen.
I already done told him you was gonna shut it down. I told him that.
Hey, I appreciate you. And if there's one more thing I could offer to all the authors, and shout out to the brother JC too, real powerful brother. And the sister again for sharing her story and for y'all for having it. But for all these authors, it's no competition. Your story is different from mine. My concept is different from yours. The market, alliancing and building, that's where the power is at. You understand? So this queen having a book, this king having a book, let's cross market, let's exchange books, let's build this, because this is our own. So everybody keep offering your good works. And I'm just good and glad to be in y'all company.
And I appreciate you, bro.
Same here. So
That's why I do my platform.
and you better keep on doing it.
That's it. And I caught so much heat for the stuff that I do because people say I share too much, I do this too much. You know what? God ain't told me to do nothing different.
And
This is who I am. This is who I am.
First.
Yep.
You gotta get that right.
This is who I am.
You gotta get that right.
Definitely. All right, Dom. We gonna make sure we drop all those links so they can go stream that song because I heard it. It's dope. I better go get it.
Hey, and my baby ain't playing. You know what I mean?
No,
She running the
ain't.
office.
She ain't. She
She
ain't.
running the office. We don't have
We having
time.
a delay. My computer acting crazy, I guess. Cause it sound like y'all sound like robots.
Hey, well, that's my cue. I'm gonna drop the links.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I hear you.
Y'all froze now.
All right. Well, again, Queens, thank you for having me. Father of that
you.
19. Wherever you want to go get a book, I do pull up, visit the site, and I get you. And I'm gonna drop those links. Peace and power.
Absolutely. Is it you still ain't hearing nothing? You froze.
What is going on with the computer?
Can you hear me now? It's still frozen. Do we need to go out and come back in? I can't hear you. Hello, guys. Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing out here? And we want to
Y'all
thank
froze.
you. Can you hear me now?
Y'all froze.
It's
Y'all
just
was
me
freezing
now.
up.
Oh, you can hear me now? We good now? No? Still no? We having some technical difficulties. Leave it to the electronics. It likes to do its own thing. But definitely we like to thank everybody that is tuning in. We like to thank everybody that's here supporting this domestic violence awareness. And definitely, it is something that's real. It is real out here, and people think that, just physical abuse is only a sign of abuse, but it's so many different, the verbal, the emotional, it's alive. And it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on your mind, your body, your soul, and you have to go through reconstructions of your whole mind, body, and soul after going through domestic violence. It is definitely a task that I took because I went to therapy. I went through it twice. Like I went through 2 versions of domestic violence. Are you okay over there? Or still acting up?
I don't know what it kicked him out.
Can you hear me? I can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you and I can see you.
You can see me?
It kicked him out though.
Oh, he was done. He was done
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
He was finished. But I was just telling people how, you kind of have to go through reconstruction after going through domestic violence, because it takes toll of your mind, your body, and your soul. You have to really reconstruct yourself after going through the physical, the mental, and the emotional of abuse. And it's not as simple as people think. It doesn't just go away. And it doesn't just, oh, I went through it and that's it. It's a process. But you got to work through that process.
That's
You got
it.
to be
Miss
ready for
Andrews
it.
here. Miss Andrews here. Miss Andrews here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna pull her up. Hello.
I've been here, baby. I've been here.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm at work, if you can see by my scrubs, but
You hear, and you hear. That's all that matters.
right.
Can you tell everybody about this beautiful, beautiful lady, Miss Andrews? Tell us about you and what you do, honey.
Okay. Well, my name is Lage. Word association helps because it's spelled Laghe. Ain't spelled nothing like it looks like it sounds or looks. So, beige, Lage, you in there. You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, I am an entrepreneur. Well, I consider myself a babypreneur because I do have a company, Leger Music Entertainment LLC, that is just taken up and getting off the ground. I have a broadcast show called Freeze Frame Television that is going to be airing pretty soon. It's put together by me and a bunch of other people. We practice group economics within my company, which for those who don't know what group economics is, it's basically getting with somebody that you know in your community who has a business, and you get together and it's just like doing business product for product. You know what I mean? If they like, I have Revamped Visions, which is a promotional photography service, and I call in, different. There, everybody that works for hire, so I call in different photographers. I call in makeup artists. I call in fashion, people who do fashion, and we help the person that's paying to get, the optimal promotional package that they can get, for their brand. So group economics recap. It's just working with everybody and everybody's promoting everybody. You know what I mean? Making sure the money is circulating where it needs to circulate.
Yeah,
okay.
And
that's important, especially with us Black people. You know what I'm saying? We all want free 99, and we can't all get free 99 because free 99 don't pay the bills. If y'all get together and provide a way for y'all to all work and get some money together, that's a whole different story.
Exactly. Definitely true. So, honey, have a question for you. Now, have you ever experienced any type of domestic violence, or do you know anybody that has?
Yes. I was in a 10-year relationship, and the first 6 years they weren't, heaven, but it was a relationship. With relationships, there comes ups, there comes downs. You're not always going to agree. Sometimes there's going to be some gray areas that you guys have to fix. It happens in relationships. Relationships are not fairy tales. And I'm a realist, you know what I mean? But as I was watching, some of the other people that came on, and kudos to everybody for being survivors. You know what I'm saying? A form of isolation and control happens. Around that 6th year, I ended up moving to Pennsylvania, which at the time you don't think about it as control. I was afraid to move. My family didn't want me to move. Like, I forgot the female's name previous. When she said she stayed for her kids. Forgive me, I forgot her name, but I commented on when she was up there. I moved to Pennsylvania. My family did not agree. They did not want me to go. It was not. I immediately got there and felt like I shouldn't be there. But after that became, now that I was away from my family, it became the control. They have to dominate. They have to control everything. Everything has to be according to what they say. Otherwise, it's not right. And when it's not right, and it's not right with you, there comes the problem.
Yes.
Because in an abusive relationship, you're always looked at as the issue that needs to be corrected. That's not. You know what I mean? And it takes a while especially if you have kids, for you to really wrap your mind around the fact that this isn't normal. This is not how I'm supposed to be living. This is not what kids should be seeing. You know what I mean? I know a lot of us, especially Black women, you know what I'm saying? We think that we can help uplift, and change. But what we fail to realize is you can only build and uplift and change somebody that wants that, somebody that has their hand open for it. You know what I mean? So if that's not there, they don't want it. And it's always going to be a power struggle. And if you're in an abusive relationship and you don't realize it, you're on the other end of the abuse. You're not the abuser, you're the abuser. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a while to get your mind around that. You have to think about your kids. I one day woke up. I was in Pennsylvania. I had my face. I had stitches here. My face was split open twice. We had ended up because sometimes it spills outside and your neighbor's concerned. They're concerned about you. They're going to call the police. Like, they don't know what's going on. Police is not going to. A lot of times, if you're both looking away, they're going to take both of you guys. And I happen to be in a small town with, one judge. And many times as I went back, he just looked at me and told me after the last time, he said, "You come in here one more time, I'm going to take your daughter." That was a wake-up call.
Got you. Definitely.
And, he explained to me after we got out the courtroom, he was a father of 2. And he was like, I've seen you several times in this situation. You always look so sad, so depressed, so miserable. You're always crying. She's always angry, yelling, screaming. You know what I mean? It is not a good situation for you. You're going to have to leave. And I can't continue to keep seeing this. That was a wake-up call for
me. Yeah.
Plus the fact that I got sent to a women's home and couldn't go back home because of how badly I was beaten up. So my daughter was with me, and she couldn't go back either. So the trauma, I had to think about my kid.
Yes.
The trauma she can go through. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I'm allowing her to be traumatized, I was like, oh no, this can't go on. The next day, I got a van from Enterprise, grabbed everything I could in my van, my dog, my daughter, everything else I could pack in the van, and went back to Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
Now, Starting over,
Mm-hmm.
because you're by that time, you're so used to your train of thoughts, the unhealthy train of thoughts that kept you know what I'm saying? You can't really focus, you can't really visualize how you're going to pick yourself up sometimes. But that's
Yeah.
when good support systems come into play.
That's
And
slow.
I say this all the time, you know what I'm saying? Closed mouths don't get fed. And sometimes when you go through so much hurt, it's hard to open your mouth. It is pain. You don't want to revisit. But at the same time, you cannot avoid. Avoidance is going to allow for the same things to happen again.
Yeah, it's just a temporary fix.
You avoid the situation. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to. You are avoiding the people that remind you of this person. You're avoiding places that remind you of this person. You're just stuffing it all down. And you try to stuff a pillowcase with so many feathers. Eventually, it's not gonna. There's nothing else you can stuff in there.
True.
You know what I mean? So with a lot of us, like avoidance, I've noticed is a big thing. I don't want to talk about it. Stop talking to me about it. I don't want to talk about it. I lived it. I don't have to talk about it again. Those type of attitudes can keep forms of PTSD running rampant throughout your whole being. PTSD will have you angry, lashing out at everybody that comes across you. It will have you sad and depressed, not wanting to get up, take care of your kids, go to work, fix your hair, look nice for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It takes so much from you, that avoidance. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk to people, really when it comes to this, I talk about the after effects, because the after effects is where the healing starts. And the healing can't start unless you want to heal.
Yep.
You're going to have a support system of family members. You're going to have that therapist that sit and listen to you. Because sometimes, family can only listen and they haven't been there. So they can't really give you too many good pieces of advice. They can only empathize.
Correct.
And you need both. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
I try to focus more on the after effects and just healing. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things that can make you stagnant in your life when it comes to the trauma, and you need to look at it as the abuse is not just something that I went through, but you need to look at it as trauma. If you break your arm, it has to be set right. If it was trauma, if you don't set right, your arm ain't gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? If you are purging and binging, you cause trauma to your esophagus, you have to heal. You can't eat solid foods for a long time. You have to let it heal so that you can in with the nutrients that you're supposed to take. The healing process is, you know what I'm saying? Trauma is a big thing, and healing is even bigger. The healing process is, the abuse is hard. The healing is harder.
Yeah, it is, because I even still dealt with the facts of the nightmares. I had to go through the process of not dealing with my trauma, because unconsciously I started dealing with it with avoiding it face to face. So it's all right, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just be fighting at night in your dreams? No, that's not healthy. You're not sleeping.
Right. Because that avoidance will open the door for, sexual, sexual deviance, you know what I'm saying? Alcoholism, drug use, because you're constantly trying to set it up.
How you say, put that mask on.
Right, exactly. And they put a whole mask on you, and it's going to be hard to take that joint off.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, and as you know, masks, they can become your whole persona. And then you forget who you are.
Yeah, because you've been masking it so long, it becomes normal. So tell me, because you have this awesome little music career, how did you get into being this awesome singer that you are? What drives you to do music?
Well, it started out as just a hobby. I thought I would, I love to write. I love to write, period. But music was something that, in my house, every morning, every day, my mom had the big stereo with the floor speakers, you know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 of them, turned that joint up, lay on the floor, let it vibrate through your body, you know what I'm saying? So music is a very powerful thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people say, you know, oh, I am music. Music is me. Like when you feel that you don't have to explain it, it just happens. It just is. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, it was my ex, the one I spoke about, you know, with the domestic violence. We got together and, you know, Ronnie became my manager and we just like kind of took off. You know, once we got to Pennsylvania, things started growing more. We had a business together, you know what I'm saying? Lady Beast Management, where, you know, when you're doing business, especially something like that, when management, you have to put an artist out there. So you just, people can see what you want to do, what you're doing. What better person to put out than yourself? It's your business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, honestly, being, you know what I'm saying, the brand ambassador for my business is what got me doing music. And then, you know, like what I do. So, okay, I think I can do this thing. Now, this thing, you know, a little bit. I got to have my business and say music entertainment. But it's my passion for music, trap, you know what I mean? That's how I made it. And we traveled all across the United States, just doing music, shaking hands, seeing our sponsorship. You know, it's just dope. You know, I love the music life. You know, that's why I opened the entertainment management, company. But that's how I came. That's how music came up. I was like, well, I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Sis, your connection's going in and out. Yeah.
It dropped
and
her.
Maybe it's hello. Nope, it's me. Angela.
I'm here.
I'm gonna have to log in and log back out because mine is being retarded. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Something's going on with the network, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's like it's froze or something. I was trying to get to the so I can see if you're still playing. If you're still.
Okay.
Shana left. She had to come back. She froze up.
Yeah. But like I was saying, you know, the music thing, you know, it is what it is. I think, you know, it's to be honest with you, I think the music scene is oversaturated. So everybody want to sing, everybody want to rap, you know what I'm saying? So I had to take a step back. I had to reevaluate my whole thought process on that because I wasn't making too much money. I was only making enough money to go to the next city. You know what I'm saying? Wow. You know, I wasn't making money to send home. I was living the life, but without the cash. So I needed to figure out how I was going to keep some ducats in my pockets. You feel me?
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. What type of music do you do?
Well, I do a lot. I wrote a song for an artist, and it was a country track. And it on local charts, where she was at, it did chart. It did, you know, it didn't get higher than 12. But on local charts, you know what I'm saying? When it's Houston, Texas, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like I said, music ain't oversaturated, but I write country. I write pretty much anything. As far as performing and singing, you know, I'm more hip hop, more rap, more R&B type chick. You know what I'm saying? Throw some pop in there. You know what I mean? I'm a little versatile, you know, but I can write about anything. Your girl kind of cold.
I like music. I can't sing though, but I like music. My niece is really into music. She really can sing.
Oh yeah, she got some music out.
She don't, but she has that voice on her that won't stop. She tried out for American Idol when the year that Fantasia won, and she just gave up. So she has an amazing voice. She's always on what is that, Mule?
Oh yeah.
She's always on Mule. She's in about 2 or 3 groups. She can sing. She has a talent. She has a gift.
The thing with those America's Got Talents and The Voice and things like that, I feel like it's a setup for failure because they're only really looking for a certain type of people for those seasons.
They
If you
looking for
don't fit
somebody that they can sell. that they can sell. Yeah.
Exactly. They don't want to build anybody. This is not Motown days no more. They don't want to build nobody. They want you put together and they want you a little stupid so they can exploit you.
That's it.
That's it.
Shana's
Why
back.
you think everybody butt naked on videos? Easily susceptible. We glad you're back.
Yeah, you know how this computer thing goes.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Look.
Y'all can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Angela, you can hear me?
Look, it's doing this hopscotch thing right now.
Hopscotch now, so it got to be her, but you can hear me.
I can hear you. It's a little delay, but I can hear you.
Got you. The electric, it is. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah,
and then it's gonna speed up. It's gonna sound like y'all talking like some chipmunks.
Yeah, because that's what it was doing with her.
It must be tired of me.
I mean, it do say 3 hours and 19 seconds. 3 hours, 19 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, when we out here for a cause, that's how it goes sometimes. So you singing us a song tonight?
Let me see if I go out. Really.
Ooh, girl.
Are you singing a song tonight? Are you gracing us with that beautiful voice that you got? I'm just saying.
I don't know. I might do a little something real quick because you know, like I said, girl, you know I don't sing no more. I'm a businesswoman now.
I'm a businesswoman together. I'm waiting to be on that TV. You're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to do it through virtual though.
What I am trying to do though, because I do have freeze frame TV, I'm trying to find a television station, not a television broadcast, but a tangible station, an actual physical station, maybe a local one on the East Coast. That way I can bring freeze frame up there. So if you got any ideas, if you got, any leeways, any addresses, phone numbers, I can call. Throw them at me.
I'm gonna have to see your search and see what you in Nebraska. Yeah, I have to see what But throw it out there. Tell anybody information. Look, we on live. Yeah. So hey, anybody got some information?
Anybody.
What you need? Say what you need again.
For TV station.
Okay.
I need a TV station, a physical, actual station. You know what I'm saying? I syndicated hours on different online stations where freeze frame will be played. But I need an actual station that way I can go there and record on the East Coast.
Okay.
Because we with KPAO television station right now, I'm doing all my interviews. That's where I'm doing all the parody commercials. That's where I'm doing all the videos. I'm doing everything. So I can get one on the East Coast, So I'm back up there regularly. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to be bi-coastal. I mean, that's the goal.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. I'm trying to be like her.
Who, her?
I'm trying to be like y'all.
I'm trying to be like you. Who? I'm trying to be like you.
I'm trying to be like y'all.
I'm trying to be like
you.
Who?
Look, I'm trying to get this so that everybody in the mix, in this mixing pot with the money fall from the sky.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be like both of y'all. Cause I'm hearing what you're talking about. I'm hearing that, Miss Andrews. I'm on that. I hear that. I'm with that. Yeah.
Like I said, group economics. Economics to keep all of us black people with some dollars in their pocket. All we gotta do is put a little brain power by it. That's it.
Amen.
That's it.
Okay, and I'm all about. I love my black sisters and my black brothers. So even though a lot of us are a little misguided and don't know where to go, like I got people coming in and they're doing a little bit of acting. You do a little bit of acting for free frame, you're gonna learn something because you're gonna teach you something. Come and do some ciphers. Get in the ciphers, you're gonna learn something because I'm gonna teach you something. You gonna be by the end of the time you start messing with me, you're gonna know a few things that's gonna help you get some dollars with and without me.
Tell them again, girl.
Say right now, where I need to come to? Where people where you at? You in Nebraska?
I'm in Nebraska, honey. But I love all my black people.
I need to make a trip out there. Cause I'm trying to get them dollars.
Look, where you at? I'll come to you.
In Myrtle Beach.
She in South Carolina.
I'll come to you, honey. I'll come to you. That's my thing, girl.
Yeah,
I'll
she'll come. She'll come. She come.
I'm gonna be up there to see you, Sheena, for sure.
Coming, baby.
Look, I'm on the way. Okay.
I know.
But
I'm gonna be listening.
I guess I can give you the stuff.
around.
Thank you so much. But I'm gonna give you a little piece, Sheena. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even though I don't sing no more. You know, I retired.
So you better bless them with something.
A little taste. You know what I'm saying? All right. You say that I'm too fly and that you just can't let me walk by. You say you can see yourself with me forever. You say I deserve someone who can take my breath away. You say you're too good for these lanes. But you've only known me for what? 5 seconds, and now you want a blessing that you just can't afford. And I'm supposed to be blinded by your game, and what you're saying makes you the same. You're not the real McCoy. And you say these things like you're believing your hype. I'ma need you to step up to the side and up out of my sight. All that gas burns my eyes. Cause I'm fed up with the bullshit, ayy. Cause you don't know what to do with this, ayy. I am fed up with the bullshit. Cause you don't know what to do with this. I am fed up with the bullshit. Cause you don't know what to do with. I am fed up with the bullshit. Yeah, I'm fed up with the bullshit. Yeah.
How we there, girl? Keep that up.
I told you your girl rights now.
All right now.
Listen.
Yeah.
Girl.
Make sure you give her my email.
I got you. I'm connecting. Yes,
honey.
I got you. Yes, connections, network. Yes.
All day. For the rest of y'all out there, I'm about to put it in there. Google this name. And you will find me everything.
That song you just sent, I need that in my inbox. Thanks, appreciate you. So I can be blessing.
Oh yes, honey. I got you.
Yep.
For the rest of y'all, Google LAGHEMUSIC and you will find me, baby.
Yes. Google me, baby.
Thank you, Queen.
Most definitely.
Appreciate you. Make sure you let them know where to find you business wise, since you don't sing no more. But let them know how to find you entrepreneur wise.
Yes. Now my business has just went live with the state in August. You know what I'm saying? So we are getting the website underway. But if you want to reach me for any kind of questions, if you want to go ahead and put a resume in, you know, you have an artist resume that you want to put in, see what you can get going on with us, go ahead and send it to LAGHEMUSICENTERTAINMENT@gmail.com. Your girl will always answer back. And for y'all who want to see what we're doing and how we're building with Freeze Frame and how you can be a part of it, you can find it on Facebook, PHREEZ PHRAME TV. And you will find it all.
So before you leave them with a positive word that you would tell somebody that is taking the scroll of the path of survivors that we've made it to. Get them a word of empowerment.
Just like with everything else, take it by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. And if you really feel like you're that down and you can't get up, follow the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rule. Anytime that you have any kind of doubt and you don't want to do it, you don't want to get up, you don't want to make your kids their lunch, you don't want to go and talk to your therapist, you don't want to go and deal with the world. Why? Because you're so down and depressed and feeling hopeless. Give yourself 5 seconds and just get up and do it. That'll kill any doubt. Just make it a on that number 5, I'm gonna go get that help. I'm gonna make this lunch. I'm gonna get out this bed. I'm gonna actually do my hair. You know what I'm saying? Take it minute by minute, second by second. Give yourself 5 counts and just go.
I appreciate you all day. Queen, it's nothing but love.
Most definitely. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Queen.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Guys.
Sister.
You froze.
Am I on your side? Because I'm moving over here.
You froze.
I'm going to ask the computer to get it together.
Yeah, you moving a little bit. You moving in slow motion. It's moving like this.
You might got to go out and come back in. I see, first you was laughing about my technical difficulties. Now it's me. Yeah, the computer is having issues.
Well, I'm about to take a break anyway, so
because my
author he not gonna come until he come at 8:30, and he's the only one. I don't have any more.
Gotcha.
Nobody else signed up.
That was my last guest, so listen.
Well, we can take a break. I ain't stressing.
Not at all.
I need to give me something to eat anyway. I appreciate you so much. You just don't know.
I thank you.
So anytime you need me, I'm here.
Of course.
I'm going to have to come to New York.
Come
visit.
Come visit. We always gain the network out here, and is. And to everybody's out there, this has been Sheena. I've graced the pleasure of being with the queen over here. I was trying to be like me. I'm trying to be like her. But you can always find me.
I'm trying to be like her.
You can find me on all my platforms, which is www.theladybehindthemask. You can find me at Sheena Goudine Author on Facebook, Sheena Goudine Personal Page, Sheena Unmasked Motivation. You can find me on Instagram, Testimony for Life. I am also on the Rundown platform that I host for. I'm also on the Authors Network that I co-host for that as well, founder of. And you can always find me at my email, sgoudine, gourdine16@gmail.com. And I'm always available. I'm here for it all. Just hit me up. I'm ready to network, collab. I'm on book 2 that's coming next month, documentary film that's coming in October. I'm on a whole bunch of podcasts and panels this month. Too much to list. So come follow me and find out all of where I will be. Because I am booked at the pet. Yo, when I say I'm booked this month,
that's a good thing.
Oh, I'm not mad, but
it's a good thing.
It's too much to list, so that's why I say they gotta just come on the platform and follow me, because
it's a
lot. Because when I think I don't got nothing else on my plate, here come another inbox. So and I ain't mad at it. I take all.
Ain't mad at all. Ain't mad at all. Make sure you post at least one of your links so they know where to find you now.
I will definitely will do. Will do. You know that already. It's been
I appreciate you.
No problem.
I appreciate you so much.
It's been a blessing. I appreciate you having me. It's been an honor. So
I got you.
You got me.
I appreciate you.
Of course. It's always. I'm gonna be back and forth in there while you come on later. I'm gonna be right there. As you can see, I go to bed late. I'm up.
I'm gonna come back at 8:30. I'm gonna leave and go get me.
Yeah, take you. 8:30. You've been going to 12 o'clock last night. You need a break. It's okay.
I'm gonna take me a break. I'm gonna run and get me something to eat real quick, and then I'll be back on at 8:30.
All right,
Thank you so much, sis. All right, love you.
All right, I'll give everybody an email. I got you.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Bless.
All right. Talk to you later. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back on at 8:30. We will have author Caleb Harris on. I gotta go get me something to eat, y'all. I've been doing this all day, but come back at 8:30. I got you.